Greetings, gamers, and welcome to the O7 Iron Podcast, Episode 8. Now, this is a little special because for the first time ever, we have someone that's not in the CC a part of the podcast. And the objective of this podcast is going to be to talk more about a macro efficiency perspective for an Ironman, more specifically in revolving around PvMing. So I'm joined here with Salii. So, Salii, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm not sure who your audience necessarily is, but some people may know me, some people may not. I've been in the raiding community for, 7, 8 years now, quite a while. Um, been in all sorts of clans, solitary for Ironman back in the day. It's closed down now. Um, was in Oblivion many, many years ago when I was a main, but left that. But God, that was like 7, 6 years ago, maybe, quite a while. Um, Yeah, so now I'm in a more social clan that's not like PvM or PvP focused. It's just social activities and like more community based. It's called Infinity. Um, and so that's who I am, I guess, right now. Who knows? Maybe there'll be like a another Iron Man clan that comes out that competes with Valiance that might be open. So we'll see where it goes.
Hell yeah, you were also in RCC for a while, for like a week, then you left.
Yeah, I think that was back in closer to TOA release and just I needed teammates with stabs. You gotta go with more max F teams. And I wasn't really talking with any friends that would take me because I didn't have a staff back then, right? So, mains want to go with max mains, and Ironmen are generally seen as leeches until you get Biss, and then they're considered, like a
A semi
regular
leash.
teammate. Yeah. So until I had something, I had to join mains and, kind of snake onto teams to try to get fast completions. But that's back when I was competing for at least hard mode, not the hard mode, but like the expert mode ranks, but not anymore. I've kind of sidelined it a bit to work on other goals.
Hell yeah, good. Do you want to talk more about in real life, maybe your current OSRS goals, what recent achievements you've gotten on your iron, stuff like
Sure.
that?
Real life, I'm a software engineer, so I get to work from home. So I guess that's why I get to, play all day pretty much. I'm always doing something, whether it's AFK in Castle Wars or, thieving or Nightmare Zone or training an alt or something. I'm always, online doing something because I get to do my normal work day, get to work from home, and then, after work, I get to, focus on PVM or whatever I find fun if I don't have any plans for the day. So I got plenty of time to play. So uh, I guess my current goals would be like the capes of accomplishments, I guess, from all the raids, and then the LMS cape. I'm also considering it on there just because so few people have it. I figured I might as well, go for it so I can get like the triple crown of all the capes, kind of. I'm not sure if any Iron Man has all three raid capes. Maybe one, maybe two. Um, I don't remember. I was looking it up. I don't remember if I saw one, two, or none. Um, but then also out of them, how many of them have the LMS cape, right? So maybe I'll be the first, but I doubt it. I still have maybe a year to go or more, maybe a year and a half. And especially depending on new content that comes out, who knows, how much of a break I'll take from rating or from LMS to go do that content. But yeah, those are my current goals for like recent achievements, I guess, hitting 1,000 expert TOA. I think I was ranked 6 at a time, but I think I'm ranked 7 now, maybe. Um, and yeah, just everyone stopped doing TOA because TOA is like garbage money if you don't get a staff. Everything's just gone down so quickly. It's quite unfortunate. It was pretty good money for a while, but now it's so few people do it that uh, it's almost not worth doing anymore.
Yeah, it kind of
Um,
sucks. TOA was over 10 mil an hour at one point. Now I think
oh yeah, it
it's
was
only 10 mil per hour if you're doing like really close to 500 in vacation.
yeah, it's even on par with challenge modes. Or like 3+12s maybe if you can be bothered to run those or imagine selling 3+12s probably a lot more money than that or how many alts you got, who knows? But yeah, it's unfortunate to have TOA be so poor money already.
Yeah, I mean, you called it though. I remember before I started doing Toa, you told me you should do Toa ASAP before the GP per hour goes to shit. And I
Yeah,
remember
I
telling
mean,
myself like, I'll wait. Turns out I shouldn't have waited too long.
yeah, it's just the accessibility of it. Everyone can do it, which is good. I'm not saying that the accessibility is bad, but just having so many people being able to complete the content, it's going to go down. Even though it offers, in my opinion, outside of chambers, like the most abyss from one area. Like TOB offers what the Avernic, kind of the rapier, and scythe, and not saying anymore, but it used to be saying. In terms of BIS, Chambers still offers like shit tons, right? But TOA, everything was BIS except for the ward. Um,
The ward is still
so
good too. People, it's very underrated. I find.
it's underrated, but I mean, it's hard to compete with a shadow.
Oh
The
yeah,
only way you're
Shadow's
compete
cracked.
if you have a shadow, it's hard to compete with it. Maybe when the Heka comes out, they said that they were saving the Heka in their back pocket to do something else later down the line. So maybe when that comes out, the ward will be not as overlooked, but at least right now, it just pales in comparison to a shadow.
I didn't know they were gonna offer the Heka eventually. That
Yeah,
weapon was cool with the 2 tick to 5 tick attack speed. That was very unique.
yeah, I think it was unique, but I definitely think it did have some downsides to it. Because I was talking to one of my good friends, uh, Lucid, and he was saying how, like, let's say you want to take it to Nightmare, and so you need thralls, you need to be on the normal spellbook, um, and so you have to bring spellbook swap, right? And so you're bringing like 8 or 9 different runes so that you could spellbook swap to thralls, cast thralls, um, spellbook swap to thralls to cast death charge, spellbook swap to normal so you can hit the pillars with the extra damage from the Heka, and then you need to alch something to switch you back to lunars, and it was going to be like
That's so
it
cringe.
is yeah, it was going to be super cringe. And so I tweeted Mod Ash and I was like, Mod Ash, please, the play style of this Heka is going to be absolutely terrible. Please, can we do something about it? Um, and I gave a few ideas, and the one that he seemed to not instantly disregard would be to, when you do a spellbook swap, you have to wait 2 minutes or cast a spell.
Yeah,
I
and to
asked if
revert.
we could, yeah, I asked him if we could have like a little red X or something that you can instantly, you
Cancel.
can click and you can go back to lunars, and that would help a little bit. But I mean, it would still be really aids having to use that Heka, especially at Nightmare. Um, Casting spellbook swap 10 times a kill. Um, but in the end, I would just stay on RCS. I'm not going to cast spellbook swap. That's way too sweaty for me. But
Yeah, unless you're going for
especially
a
in Nightmare,
PB, I don't see the point.
oh yeah, like it just doesn't look fun. So, but yeah, maybe one day we'll get the Heka, and then the ward will be relevant again. But until that day, just Shadow is just going to outclass it.
Yeah, I was mostly just thinking about Slayer because that's the only place I use the ward now. When I
Yeah,
do Barrage Slayer. I don't
yeah,
have the
that.
arcane though, which kind of sucks, but it's still decent.
Yeah, I don't like the icon for it either. Like in the bank or in the inventory, it's supposed to look like, I think the artist that made it said it's supposed to look like a rhino's head or like a hippo head or something, like a hippo skull. But yeah, I just don't like the way it looks. I think the upgraded version looks okay.
The upgraded version with the kit looks sick,
Yeah, with the
but
kit it looks pretty good.
I'm
But
not grinding on arcane, so fuck that. I'm never gonna
oh yeah,
own
it's,
it.
it's going to be a while before I get one of those things. Maybe when the Heka comes out, I'll go for an arcane as well.
Or maybe they're gonna change Corp for irons. Was it you that was telling me that, or was it someone else? I think it was someone
That
else during the last podcast. I think it was
I,
Folgore.
I was probably telling you the opposite because I remember they did like it was like one of those live streams. It's in a YouTube video now. I don't know which live stream it was, but they specifically said, oh, I think it was when they were discussing like um TOA rewards, and they were discussing the ward and how you're going to upgrade it with an arcane. And then Ironman in the chat were complaining, as Ironmen do. And I think it was Mod Arcane or maybe Mod Eyes or whatever, and they were just like, well, if you're an Iron Man, just suck it up. Go Corp if you want the upgraded ward. Um, but I also think that they, try to cover their bases and say, oh, we'll look into it. but I'm not quite sure what the conclusion of that will be, whether they're going to make Corp like next or keep Corp the way it is.
Because the thing is if they do it like next, it's going to be very easy to boost corp because you can just spec it down
Oh
on
yeah.
alt. So it'll be like the alting method all over again.
Yeah, and Mod Husky very specifically removed that back in the day.
Yeah, he was very
Uh,
against it.
which in retrospect, yeah, it wasn't aligned with Ironman, but also it's Corp, man. Screw Corp. Who enjoys doing Corp, right? So screw it. Let us have it a little bit if someone wants to slave away on like an Ironman alt that has a Warhammer and a BGS. Who cares?
Yeah, what was cool too is back then there was like people offering to rent out their irons to spec down. Like I remember
Now,
someone like someone came up to me and offered me I think he said 200 mil and I could rent his account for a week to do corp. And
now
I
that is
remember
a
denying it too.
fantastic. That is a fantastic deal. Number one. Number two, I also don't agree with that. I feel like that's more of like services level, you know, um, like gameplay. Like I'm not really into services. I'm okay with like boosting or like paying for in-game services, but like trading accounts, like something of that scale. I'm
Yeah,
not
the account
necessarily
was like
in
a
that.
spec alt. Like the iron was fully made to spec corp. Like he had BGS, hammer, arc light, and like a bunch of attack potions. And I remember a lot of my friends did it too. Like a lot of them, they were doing 1+2s, getting 12 kills an hour for a long time.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely worth. But in retrospect, it was probably for the best.
Oh yeah, I agree. Now it was a good change. And I'm not a fan of
Although
alting too. I really dislike alting.
I'm actually the difference. Like I feel like the most enjoyable aspect of this game to me is alting. Like I feel a lot more happier playing on 5 accounts than I do playing on one, depending on what the content is. I guess that's why Chambers is my favorite raid over like TOA or TOB. Just because I enjoy the alting aspect and how you can run, 4+1s or 3+12s or 5+26s even. I've been a part of some of those. Um, and those are just a lot more fun to me. It's because I feel like the skill ceiling, generally speaking, is pretty capped. Like, I mean, take like Rostaman for example. He's not going to get much better. He's just focusing on RNG basically, um, to get his PBCM run or PB Inferno run or whatever. But with alting, there's almost no skill ceiling because how few ticks can you miss on as many accounts as possible? Um, so I feel like there's always just ways to improve, and I feel like having alts benefits even Ironman, but mostly mains in ways that you just can't reproduce with even like high tier skill. Like you can be one of the best soloers in the game, but I mean you're not going to do much compared to like a 4+1 that's max F that has pre scout alts. So I really enjoy alting even for Ironman.
Yeah, it's an interesting perspective. I didn't think of it that way. It adds like a depth that's not that I've never experienced with much.
Yeah, and it busts out new metas like for I'm trying not to
Yeah, you don't want to leak your methods, do you?
yeah, I'm trying not to like like 1+1 nightmare back in the day. It's patched, so I can talk about it. Oh, I got something. Corp. Okay, Iron Man Corp. I'll tell you this one. I don't mind linking this one. So like 1+1 nightmare, right? That's like a different take on nightmare. Like
Can you explain what one
it's
plus one nightmare is? Because I'm sure most people
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
So back in the day, before they fixed it, I don't know when they fixed it. Was it pre Nex over a
Yeah,
year
yeah, it was
ago?
way before next. I
Was it way
remember.
before Nex?
Yeah,
I don't. So like maybe 2 years ago, this year and a half, 2 years ago. If you tallied out after like was it 60% of a nightmare kill, something like that. I didn't
I
do it.
think
I was a
from
low level.
memory it was like between 60 to 66% damage. You would get full
Yes.
contribution. And
Yeah.
what was
So
interesting too is it wasn't actually confirmed. People were just like people in solitary, they were doing trials and they were like recording their data, and they assumed that that was the case. But for all we know, they could have been dead wrong. But
yeah,
it
who
seemed to
knows?
have been working though, so maybe they were correct.
Yeah, like being able to play 2 accounts at the time, you have to know exactly when like the floor blacks come out or whatever, like the shadows. You would have to know exactly when they come out because you have to move on to accounts. You have to, exactly what to pray on both accounts at the same time. So you have to, be really good at, context switching on your clients. Um, and that's just, you don't see that in normal nightmare teams because normal nightmare teams, you just hit the boss, let the tank worry about it, and switch praise every once in a while. Move around a little bit, but in 1+1 nightmare, you actually have to like stay focused and understand the fight totally and exactly what's going on. Um, so it brings a little bit more skill to the table than doing, like a 5-man nightmare kill or something, or even
Yeah,
a duo nightmare
and just
kill.
to be more like precise to people, like 1+1 nightmare, basically you have one person killing nightmare, and you have another person that's killing nightmare too, but as a booster. So the person would do damage, but they would teleport out before the end of the kill. So that way the entire kill goes to the one person that's doing the kill normally. So you're essentially having one iron killing nightmare and another main just boosting it, doing dragon warhammers, tanking the damage, and speeding it up a lot. I think they were getting like 10 minutes kills, which is equivalent to doing like a 10-minute solo, which back
Yeah,
then was considered like, even if you compare it to today, it's still better than Fasani's what they were doing.
yeah. What's the grandmaster for nightmare time?
It's
Let me look
sub
here.
16.
Sub 16. That's it. Oh, that's actually pretty quick.
But remember,
Uh,
like we got Thrall since then, like we got Shadow now. Like there's a lot of gear to make it easier. But back then,
oh yeah, less than 16. Yeah, it's actually pretty quick. I thought nightmare was like 17 average. Ooh, I got a teleport seed on the iron. Nice. I need some crystal
hey,
shards.
plus 300 shards.
Yeah, now that you can recolor the armor, um, I have to corrupt my Bofa so I can recolor the Bofa because I don't want to have a crystal colored Bofa and have a set of red armor.
Nice. All right, that was a good we haven't even gotten into the general topics. We're just doing
Yeah. Oh,
tangents.
real quick. Sorry. Yep, another tangent. So here's I'm leaking a meta. Okay, well technically a meta, but I don't agree with it. I think it's cheating. But so it's so for corp, you can actually do 1+1 corp on an Ironman.
Hmm.
And so I tested it and it worked. I haven't tested it for a year and a half, so I don't know if it still works or if it's patched. But basically, so this is bug abuse, 100%. So I don't agree with it. I hope it gets patched. But basically, the idea behind it is the reason you can't go in and spec corp is because it regens too much HP. And the reason it regens HP super quick is because no one's in the room. And so a workaround for that is you can fake log an alt and have the alt in there. And when you fake log an account, basically the game thinks it's logged out, but it's still logged in. And so NPCs don't attack it and NPCs don't interact with it. So you can fake log an account, stand it in the cave, and so it doesn't regen. And you can ZCB and Void Waker it. And it's like 11 or 12 kills an hour or something. Um,
Bruh, what the fuck?
yeah, but obviously you have to fake log. I think it's like a combat level 100 Iron Man. And you don't need the gear or anything. You just need to fake log it. And I don't agree with it obviously because it's bug abuse, so I don't do it. It's not like it's
Because
corp,
since you have an
right?
account in the room, it won't regen. So
Yeah,
that
so
way
you
you,
just
because that's the big thing about doing the POH method, it regens health.
yeah, and so it doesn't regen. So you ZCB 5 times and then Void Waker 15 times, 20 times maybe, and guaranteed hit that isn't halved, so it dies real quick.
Damn, that's interesting.
But obviously I don't know if it still works. I tested it a long time ago, it worked, but I didn't get a kill with it, and I don't do it because it's bug abuse is not worth, the risk of a ban.
Yeah, that's heavy chance of getting banned, dude. If you do shit like that, especially because of your the fake logout.
Oh yeah, the fake logout 100%, but even the person, using it to kill Corp has a pretty high chance, but I'm not going to do it as Corp, it's AFK, you know. It's not like it's a long grind, but it's not a hard grind. So I don't want to risk an account over something like that.
Damn, dude, that's. I hope we don't get in trouble for leaking that.
Oh, no, I mean, I don't know if anyone else knows. When I discovered it, I asked a friend who knew how to fake log that. I don't even know how to fake log. I asked a friend to help me. Um, we confirmed it worked and just never told anyone really. Might have told like maybe 3 or 4 people, but they don't do it. Um, so who knows? Maybe it's patched. It's been a year and a half. It was pre next when I tested it. So who knows? But you can do 1+1 corp on an iron, but not legitly at least. I feel
Yeah,
like
but
that could be in a Rindy video.
if you do, you might get banned. So don't do it, boys.
Oh
If
yeah,
you're
yeah,
listening
yeah.
to this,
No,
it's not
I'm not
worth
doing
it.
it. No way.
Just tweet Mod Ash to fix it. All right, let's go on to the main topics here. So I have a list of topics and I shared it with you too, so we can go up down the list one at a time. So let's start off with the first one, which is quite a big topic. It's macro efficient Ironman progress. So what we're talking here is when we're saying macro efficient, it means like in a way that's going to be efficient long term. But we're also talking about PvM goals that are very, very, let's just say niche. Not everyone's going to go for it. So we're talking about like 2K Tob Toa CM Cape. So that's going for full raid section green log, the next timeline, and also the GP profit that you estimate making. So I guess I'm just throwing that at you. Good luck with the question.
So what you want me to discuss my opinion on the
Yeah,
path
how would
for
you approach
games?
green logging raids? Let's start with that.
Okay, so what I would do, get Bofa, as every Iron Man should. Instantly go for 2K TOA.
Really, without
Yeah,
any chambers done.
no, not there's no reason once you get a shadow, you're golden. Maybe go to chambers, try to get some ancestral, but you need ancestral, and that's about it. Get a Void Waker, get a Bofa, and go to TOA. Just the seeds are too good. I think the seeds from 2K TOA, if you're doing like 400s or 410s, um, I think that's enough seeds to complete like all pets on an Iron Man. It's absolutely nuts how many
Oh, it
seeds you
definitely
get.
is. I think we talked it together. It 100% is.
Yeah, like
And
it's
that's not
just
even
it's
considering
disgusting.
the herbs you get from chambers and top, because you get a lot of herbs from there too.
Oh yeah, and the like supply input is so minimal. All you need is runes for your staff, and that's it. But if you were to get staff early, I could see going to chambers to get ancestral. But just the seeds from TOA is too good to pass up. Um, but if you were only concerned about like max efficiency, I guess getting a staff first and then going to get ancestral, and then just leaving top, getting a vernic of course, but not really doing top, because lance and staff and bofa is good enough for a very long time, um, especially if you have ancestral, and then just do 2K TOA, and then after 2K TOA, um, it's kind of a toss up between CM and TOB. So I'm like my opinion is CM first and then TOB. And the reason I think this is because I think CMs are give or take as fast as they're gonna get for a very long time until, you know, new BIS comes in the game. But I think TOB can be sped up a lot. And I think what's going to speed it up is the new prayer book that's coming out. And so until that new prayer book comes out and I see what effects it has on TOB, I'm not really interested in going to TOB. Like I'll do hard modes because I want the sanguine kit. I'm missing the sanguine kit. So I'll do hard modes, but normal tobs going for 2K. I think the good move right now is to wait until that new prayer book comes out and seeing what that
I
has to
thought the
offer.
prayer book would help chambers more because there's a bit of skilling involved with chambers.
Yeah, but the way they described it during the Winter Summit is they said the way, you know, um, the way spellbooks act, like normal is more utility, and then lunars is support, and then ancients is more like an offensive thing. They compared the new prayer book to the ancient spellbook, and so to
Oh,
me that implies less defense and more offense. And bro, you can't give up overheads and CMs. Like you already get Giga, you know,
but in Tob you barely use it unless for
yeah,
like
like
Verzig.
yeah, who cares about overheads? Like it's if instead of a 13 from Verzik, if you take an 18 but you hit 20% harder,
Yeah, the die is gonna
100%.
die faster. It's worth.
Oh yeah, you're 100% gonna give it up. But in CMs, like if you get hit like a 48 off prayer and then like a 30 on prayer, good luck. I mean, that's a even doing 20% more damage. That's a lot of damage.
You'd probably bring like a Missouri and Flick, Missouri and Torva, depending on
I
what the attack style is on Verzig.
yeah, I ain't trying to do that. I ain't trying to do that. I'm going to chill.
That's an
But
interesting take
yeah,
though, Tob, because I kind of like I did Tob first, 2K Tob. I just full sent it, which wasn't smart, but I just kind of like Tob, so I just went hard on it.
and then another thing, the 2K TOA gets you like from my like rough estimate, I don't know like how accurate this is, getting like 600-ish blood essences. And so if you were to craft that with like the Guardians of the Rift, which I'm going to do, I don't know about anyone else, but I try to process a lot of my materials that I get from raids. And so even using the, 600, 700 blood essences you're getting like 2.5 mil blood runes to use at TOB. So that's, that in itself is, really, really good and pays for a lot of the, 'cause, 2K TOB GP wise is really expensive.
Yeah, Tob is
Um,
expensive because of the scythe.
oh yeah. But, if you craft 2.5 to 3 million blood runes, before stepping foot in Tob, you're pretty golden for a while.
It's you'd probably want to do like 5 man Tob, so it's like 800 blood runes per raid or something.
Gee, I don't know the number, but that's a lot.
I know I was doing the math for it along because I used to use uncharged scythe. That's why MVP machine always trolls me.
Oh, you're one of the really
I was
an
bringing
uncharged side?
charged and uncharged, and I was using charged on Verzik and uncharged everywhere else.
Oh my
The only
goodness.
exception is if we're going for speeds, I would use charged on bloat and for maiden skip, but I would uncharge everything else.
Oh my goodness.
It was really really chill, and it didn't cost too much, and so I didn't have to craft bloods. That was before True Blood Altar, remember? So crafting bloods was like not
Not
ideal.
fun at all. Yeah.
Like I would do 1 hour of blood rune crafting for like 2 tobs.
We wonder why mains consider us leeches, and then
Then there's me.
yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, like I was very like open about it. Like I would tell people that, and they would still take me because I wasn't dying. I was very good at Tob,
Yeah,
but
I'm not very good at top at all. It's probably my weakest raid by far.
it's really fun. I miss it. I miss it a lot. I went
Yeah.
super dry on hard mode Tob, which is cool too. I was rank 7 at one point. Now I think I'm rank 14. I lost like so many ranks,
Hold on, let me check you out. I've never looked at your hard mode. Let me see.
like 700 something.
No way.
Yeah, you didn't know?
No.
I went like 600 kill count for the dust.
Let's see here. 737. Dang. It's a lot of hard mode.
It's I like hard mode. It's one of my favorite raids to do. It was really
I
fun.
I hate hard mode. I just can't stand the wipes. The wipes just
Oh,
put
dude,
me put me through
like
the
I
wall.
found like a one friend in We Do Raids. His name is Amethyst Her, and he's a fucking gamer, dude. He's a range roll main. Always brings chins, and he had a bunch of gamer friends. So I was doing 5 mans with him, like sub 20 minute 5 mans, dude. Like we were making GM time with like a minute 20 seconds to spare. Like it was insane.
Yeah, dude, I need to find a team like that because I just want to get my sanguine kit and then I want to get one more holy kit. I want to dip because what I want to do on the iron, I want to have by the time I'm 2K, if I got good RNG, I want to have one of all three sides. So like the charge, the holy, and then the sanguine, and just have just all three. I think that'd
Oh,
be
I
cool
had
on the
that at
back
one
end.
point, but I dropped the scythe, so I lost it. There was
I
yeah.
Yeah, so I used to be poor until TOA, so now I'm not poor anymore, so I don't have to drop items anymore.
Yeah, that's nice. I regret dropping the dupes, but at the same time, I kind of the
Yeah,
GP
you,
was used
you need money.
wisely. So
Yeah, money is powerful even on a main
yeah,
as
we're
an
gonna
iron.
talk about that too later. That's a topic I really wanted. That's actually the reason why we have this podcast. But
Oh
we'll get
yeah,
into that later because it's interesting.
but yeah, that's generally the route I would take. Um, and then who knows? I think that Raids 3 was so successful in terms of player count, population, and player growth. Just looking at like, the average player count nowadays. I think that um instead of like 5 years apart, they might start doing raids a year and a half, 2 years apart. I really think that raids 3 was really successful in that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I think they nailed raids 3. They did a really good job. I give them
I do
praise for
too.
that.
Even though a lot of the HLC is very against the uh the raids 3, I think that generally speaking, raids 3. Ooh, I got another teleport seed. Nice. I think raids 3 really opened up the um the scrying orb for the J mods to show them what to prioritize, and I think the answer is raids. I think they got that memo.
Yeah, I hope they don't wait 6 years for raids 4. Like, I hope they pull it out in like a 2 year period or something.
I think they're going to start doing it every year and a half to 2 years.
That'd be great.
Maybe talking about it every year and a half, and then spending another year creating it. So like, you know,
2 to
we're in
3 years.
yeah, at the 2 year mark, we might be getting like teaser pictures, like how we got for TOA. Um, I could see something like that, but definitely a lot sooner than every 5 years. I think they realized that that was a mistake going forward. But so getting on to the next topic, one thing I hope they don't reproduce is necks. I I think necks had a lot of potential. I think at the time it was bad, but I think now it's kind of okay. I say that from an Ironman perspective because TOA brings in so many herbs that it's a no-brainer how you can support yourself potion wise. Because I think as an Ironman prior to TOA, the best way to get super restores was to run 4-man Tob and to smuggle out as many super restores as you can, and like dropping gear switches just to bring it out. Um, and it was like 33 4 doses an hour, and nothing competed with that in terms of Snapdragon seeds.
Really? Because what's funny too is you also get the Snapdragon drops from Tob.
Yeah, yeah, it was
So that was
34
the
an
meta
hour
for Irons to do Tob and smuggle
for super
restores.
restores. Yeah, and it got so bad to a point because the Iron Man I have right now is extremely average luck. I never really go terribly dry. I'll go dry on meaningless items, but for big ticket items or big upgrades, I haven't really gone dry ever, which is super nice. Um, and I'm really, really lucky without getting dupes. Like when I completed chambers, I'm still missing an outer mall, so I'm not completed. But I mean, come on, it's an outer mall, right? Um, I think I had like 12 dupes total, and 8 of those were scrolls. I had like 3 bucklers, 8 dupe scrolls,
That's
and
like
then like
20 purples and like 11 out of 12.
yeah,
That's
and I
really
had like
lucky.
a duped ancestral piece. Um, and so like I technically hit rate for everything, but I got really lucky on no dupes. I also did 3+12s for almost all of my chambers. I think I did solos and duos until I got like rigor and augury. Um, and then after I did that, I had full bandos and a vernic and Bofa, and I just did 3+12s for the next 400, 450 KC, and completed it all through 3+12s.
Hmm. All right, that was
But
a long answer for the efficient path. How about next? When do you think next should be done macro efficiently?
so, God, if you're like, what's the goal? Like all PVM items?
I guess the goal would be like, yeah, I guess all PVM items because you're going for, let's just say your collection log, you're going for green log PVM section, so all PVM items and pets, everything.
I would do it relatively early, um, just because DCB is so huge everywhere, and it's not going away. It's not going anywhere. Like even if you have Voidwalker, just DCB is just so good.
Yeah, ZCB is
Um,
crack, especially for Toa. It's so good.
yeah, TOA, CMs. I don't know about regulars, but like if you were to do 3+12s, 3+12s is super good. Just pairing it with Lightbearer, it's just so good. Um, so that's like I don't want to say a must-have, but it's really, really good item that if you don't have it, it really, really sucks. Um, and then Torva is a no joke upgrade. Like people are always like offensive oriented, and I am too. Like I always try to do the max DPS. But that Torva defense is no joke. Like it is extremely obvious how little damage you take compared to Bandos or compared, Mazri versus Armadillo. Yeah, that defense is no joke. So I would do it sooner rather than later, just because there's no item you get that improves next. Um, but next, the items you get improves all bosses, right? Um, so I'd get Mazari and a Fang and a Void Waker, and I would go complete next. Um, even before 2K TOA, maybe if you complete Mazari and you get a Fang and you have a
You take
Void
a break,
Waker,
you send next until completion.
yeah. Oh, I mean, except for the hilt. The hilt's kind of useless. And also speaking of next, the call log of my Ironman, I uh I have I'm like half rate, so I should have double the amount of items that I do. So I'm quite, unlucky in terms of item drops, but I have zero dupes.
You're missing the hilt, right? The ancient
I'm
hilt.
missing the hilt, yeah, hilt and
Yeah.
pet, but zero dupes. And then I was doing next on my main for a little bit, and my main has all drops except for like it was like a horn or something. So it has all the others. So like hilt, full Torva and Van braces, no dupes. So I'm
Damn,
quite
dude.
fortunate. Yeah, I'm quite fortunate in next. It's actually kind of funny how the collection logs on the two accounts look like. But
You also finished Toa like super super early. I remember that.
yeah,
Like,
I
how long did
think
it
that
take
was
you?
God, I think it was like day 12, day 10, day 12 after release. I had
Wait,
completed all
really?
items.
Day 12, you
Yeah.
had green log?
Well,
Well,
back
like all
then,
7 items.
yeah, I had taken like the week and a half off work, and then I think we had like a holiday at that time. Um, and so I had like 2 weeks pretty much to send, and I sent it for the entire 2 weeks and finished it within those 2 weeks.
That's
And
crazy, dude.
I think this is the important part because I'm not trying to like brag or flex or nothing, but generally speaking, I'm like more efficient and I do more damage than a lot of people when I was running with Ironman at the time. And so no one had upgrades. And so when everyone is equally paired, I was MVPing every single time. Every single raid I would MVP. And so I got, upgrades because I would MVP a lot. I'd get the most purples. Um, and so that just made me MVP more and more. And it was kind of like a snowball effect. And to the point to where like they stopped raiding with me because they were like, dude, we're not getting any drops. Like,
You were getting all the drops.
yeah, I think at one point, I think it was like 2 weeks in, I had 31 uniques in my name just because I raided with Ironman that, by and large were boosting me. Um, just because I was doing so much more damage than them.
And you had a ZCB too, which is huge
Yeah,
for
I had
MVP.
yeah, I had max except for the TOA items. And so I was like smoking them. And yeah, they were not having a good time, and so they stopped raiding with me.
Because
But
that's one thing that I noticed too for Toa. The MVP is huge in 8 mans. Like
yeah,
for 8 man Toa, if you MVP in any room, you get 2,400 points. Which,
yeah,
if
like
you're
it's
doing 400s, that's 1% purple rate right there. Which is
yeah,
like
and so
crazy buff. Like in equivalence, that's like if you're doing a Chambers and you MVP Muta and then you get 8,700 points just for MVPing. That's the
it's
equivalence
like
for
that's nuts.
Chambers. It's
Yeah, and
huge.
so and back then I didn't like I wasn't they were friends. I wasn't trying to abuse them. I didn't know the impact of MVP, but it was quite obvious MVP meant something, right?
Yeah,
Um,
it's you with your case study, you could you could tell.
but yeah, I just decimated the drops.
What level
Then
were you doing? Were you guys doing 350s or?
so we were doing the 150s back in the day, um, on release because we didn't know how much it was dropping, and then that was before like the Deadly Prayers invocation came out, and so running 300s without insanity was kind of hard, and everyone was afraid of insanity. Um, and so people weren't really running experts back then, and then also people were speculating it wasn't worth doing experts because of the time it takes. And then they did a buff to where, experts dropped,
Like 2.5 times more. I remember when they announced that.
yeah, yeah, they buffed it a good bit. So experts started becoming a thing. And so I did 300s for maybe 200 kills or something. And then at that point, I had completed TOA, and my team was like, "Yeah, we're not gonna raid with you because you get all the drops." And so I started raiding with MVP Machine and raided with him for the next 800 kills. And we're doing. I think we started at 400 speeds, but very quickly he wanted to do 350s, and I was very hesitant because I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get 2K cape. I don't want to increase the time, and it was a big time increase. Instead of doing like 20 minutes, we were doing like 22 minutes. And then eventually they were like, all right, we're going to do 410s, which again was a big time increase, but I didn't really have a choice,
Dude, one thing I
or
want to talk
lose
about
the team.
too. I remember you were doing 300s for a while, and then you all of a sudden started doing 400s. You want to explain
Yeah,
like what happened? Like you were telling me you had difficulties finding consistent teams, and oh, MVP Machine asked me to CM. I can't CM on the podcast. I'm gonna be dog shit.
but the idea behind that was I wanted to do 300s for speed because I'd completed it. Gold was so easy to come by at TOA for like an alt that it didn't matter if I did 2K 300s or 2K 400s. The amount of gold that we were making at that point was enough to do anything you wanted as an Ironman. Like how much main gold you have, it didn't matter anymore. Um, and so I really wanted to do the faster raids, but when people started figuring out the drop rates at 400s, they stopped doing 300s, which means I had no team. And so it was either do 300s with redo raids and maybe form an 8-man that we're going for 2K, or reach out to someone going for high scores. I don't know, but I just lost a team that did 300s, and it was either find a new team or keep going with a team that was really, really good, really, really fast, really consistent, played all the time. I just couldn't give that up. So I switched to 400s just to appease them. And in the end, it was probably worth it. I do notice the difference in like the common loot, like seeds. You get a lot more in 400s. So I'm still getting seeds. It's a little bit slower, but having that consistency is worth way more than a few extra minutes a raid.
Yeah, and
So
also the
that's
GP
my
per hour
switch.
is like literally triple, which is kind of satisfying. And the
Yeah,
teams were so good. Like the teams with MVP Machine were crazy. Like we were getting sub 23 minute consistent 8 400s, which
yeah,
is nuts.
and having all of the like more dangerous roles like red Xing Baba or butterflying, like the roles that increase your chance of dying, not having to do those roles, just increased my chances of purples and increased my chances of getting MVPs, and just further increased my common loot. So I was happy to roll with them just because they were like a hard carry as a team.
And they were running all the time too, which was
Oh yeah,
nice. Like
like
I remember
24/7.
coming back from work, PMing, like logging in, PMing MVP Machine Toa, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll kick someone for you next raid." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that was super good.
It was fun.
But it seems like they're doing 500s now, like they stepped it up again.
Yeah, they. I was talking to him and Professor Toa. They're doing 5-man 495s, which is a 55% chance for purple. But like
I mean,
like honestly, that's just I don't want to do that high. Like if I was missing drops, which I just spoiled something. If I was missing drops, I would have done it. But it's just too intense.
yeah, maybe I'll consider it depending on how dry teams are.
The teams are bad, dude. I tried a we do raids and
Yeah,
it was like a 35-minute 400, and I was like, oh my gosh, I should have soloed. So
yeah, like
maybe it's better to do the 5-man 500.
we'll see. We'll see when we get there, but I definitely want to finish off the LMS cape, and then after the LMS cape, I'll consider it. But the LMS cape is probably 4 months away, so it's quite a long time. A lot can happen between then and now. Maybe the new spellbook comes out by then, like right around the 4 month mark. Who
Yeah, and
knows?
when a new spellbook comes, people might be full sunning raids with it. So definitely have to
Yeah,
jump on that hype train.
who knows? We'll see. All right, so I think the original topic was next, but I think we covered it for timeline. I'd do it sooner rather than later because, like, dude, those upgrades. so good, but it is boring, and I wish they would have implemented it differently. And I think moving forward, they're going to, try to implement it a bit differently. Like, for example, I could imagine like, what if you fought the four mini bosses like Fumis, Glacies, all them, and then you would fight next. It'd be like a 10-minute encounter. It's like a little mini raid. Um, but the drop rates were like 1 in 3 or something. I don't know. You do it in a 6-man. Um, I would enjoy that more. I think that um, if they could redo it, they might do something like that. But I think they're moving away from this, you know, super long, nightmarish grind.
Yeah, I really hope they learned their lesson. Like Nightmare and Nex is just both they're very frustrating bosses. I've been putting Nex off for forever actually, but I know I need to do it. I just really don't like it.
Yeah, it sucks. Have you tried the what is it, like the range indicator or whatever? Like
Yeah, that's what I
the
use. My buddy Pharaoh set it up for me.
that made it super chill. I actually enjoy it now because it made it super chill. And also, I kind of want to touch base on this a little bit. We were talking about like the MVP points from TOA.
Yeah.
I think the way I approached Next was also really good because right when it released, um I would go into like the FFA CCs that had like, predominantly Spanish speakers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I would ask for teams in Spanish, and I'd run consistent 8-mans the entire time. Super easy on the supplies, super fast kills. Run 8-mans, odd MVP literally every time. Um,
Was that
and
during the bug where MVP was getting all the drops?
not no no. I mean, yeah, but I wasn't intentionally abusing it. It was just,
It was just
fortunate.
accidental. That's
It,
crazy, dude.
yeah, it was just accidental that I happened to be doing it at the same time. But I would run an 8-man. Someone would die. Someone always would die. Um, and I would instantly replace them in like the OSRS FFA CC. Um, and then we just keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, 24/7, wouldn't stop. And it was super good on the supplies. I even downgraded to prayer pots and normal restores with brews because you can sip four brew sips to one normal restore dose instead of 3-to-1 is 4-to-1. Um, and so I was just straight chilling, having them tank for me. It was awesome, and I would MVP every kill. So because I never tanked.
That's funny, dude. That's actually like so 200 IQ, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah, but now they've gotten a little smarter. And they have like buckler racks, and they
Yeah,
don't they
the
don't.
but anyways, if I do next, I'm doing trio Fang Missouri. So
Yeah, I think that would be a lot better. The Fang, since it's came out, and also the Void Waker. I would get the Void Waker before going to next though. That thing, dude, it is so good.
yeah, I've been watching Crayons use it in PvP. It looks so fun.
Oh
Crayons
yeah,
got it within like the first couple of days.
it must be.
He went really
It
hard.
must be. You know, nice to be lucky. I've killed so many of those bosses. I've yet to have one. Speaking of, I have 5 skulls of Vedian, um, and 174 kills. I can't get over that, dude.
Yeah, you showed me the screenshot yesterday.
Yeah, it comes to the point where I get a skull of Vedian, and I just like I don't want to bang, so I'll just hold on to it and hope that I don't get PK'd.
How about the other question here? How much GP do you think you make from 2K raids like Toa, Tob, and CM?
So I'm not sure anymore because of the TOA prices, but I would imagine 2K TOA, maybe not nowadays, but is probably about 12 bill for 2K.
I remember it was 20 bill when
Oh yeah,
when I
oh yeah,
calced it like when I started doing Toa. But yeah, 12 bill seems like a good estimate.
yeah. Um, yeah, doing 410s, like if you do 2K 410s, is probably about 12 bill. Um, and then CMs, 2K CMs, probably about 8 bill. CMs has definitely made a big comeback. Um, but it also takes a lot longer.
Yeah.
So it's TOA is still a lot more money than CMs right now. Uh, but you still make a lot of money from CMs. And then Tob is actually quite low on there. It's probably 4 to 5 bill.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
make much from Tob, but I didn't get that lucky compared. And also, when I got my drops, it was like when the verdicts were 30 mil.
oh yeah, now they're like 90
Yeah,
mil.
they're 90
That's the
mil
thing
now.
that's what's holding it up.
That's pretty interesting
But
though. So you'd make like 25 bill,
I would say that's a good estimate if you include like the common loot as well. Probably about 25 bill.
and you get like 5 bill of those. That is like you have to keep on your iron, so you make like 20 bill alt GP.
Yeah, yeah, about 20 bill. And having gold on a main as an Iron Man is still a very powerful thing. Like
Yeah, we'll get to that. I don't want to start it yet because that one I'm excited for. That's the main
yeah,
topic. Nice. Actually, you want to go in Ironman GP right away? I think it's a good segue.
sure. So I think people overlook Iron Man GP. Um, I think being able to split on new content releases is super super powerful because imagine going to on next release, let's say. If I could get a 6-man team with everyone in on next release at the time, everyone that has, ACB, Armadillo, or Rapier with Bandos and Armadillo, they have resupply alts because they're mains. And then I could quick bank because I had Zuckhelm at the time, so I needed less KC to get in. Being in a team like that versus being in a team of 6 Ironmen, people are varying gear. It might be Dehides, it might be Armadillo. Some have ACB, some are camping Tebow, some are in Bofa. The difference in teams is, insane. And so you got to be able to split, right? As an Ironman, if you're going to raid with mains, 9 times out of 10,
Yeah,
especially on new releases.
I kind of messed up when I was doing Tob. Like every time I would get dupes, I would like drop trade it, which is fine. But then I would like yeet the money to the CC for like events and buy bonds and stuff, and I didn't actually hold on to it. So when Toa came out, I was broke and I couldn't afford splits. So I had to take a loan from one of my friends, from Nate, to be able to afford like a staff if I ever got one.
Yeah, no,
Which thankfully I did that, but
I'm sure you saw the differences between the
oh,
teams who are.
like night and day. It's not even comparable.
Oh yeah, it's just because the people that FFA are either Ironmen, and 9 times out of 10 they don't have max gear,
Yep.
or they're mains that probably don't have max gear and
Or
are
they're
also
mains that like were
good.
on the ban list, or they don't trust people or something, and they're not like. And what's nice too with splits is you find so many teams in V raids so easily.
Oh yeah, it's so quick. Like finding teams is so quick, good teammates. And so like on new release, being able to find a split team and being able to split as an Iron Man is you just ricochet yourself, to the front. Especially as an Iron Man. And so having that gold on a main is invaluable that people overlook quite often.
Fuck, I think this guy just lost his mace in the wildy. He lost 13 mil.
The rev weapon,
Yeah.
that's probably one of the worst things to lose, dude. I couldn't imagine.
Oh no, dude, that's so sad.
Is it an AGS or is it a rev weapon?
I don't know. He's not talking.
I wouldn't either, dude. I'd be logged out.
Oh no, poor Captain Carbon. Oh no, okay, it was his alt. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, that
Okay.
was scary,
Ooh,
dude.
Monka S.
Yeah. So, but okay. So actually, firstly, the first thing is, do you drop check your dupes and why? So the
So
why you kind of explained it actually.
so I used to be poor, so I used to, yes. But not anymore. I have enough alt money because of TOA. That I can just keep dupes. I would drop stuff like Dexes and a Vernix, like stuff that isn't that hard to get, and they come like in truckloads. And I couldn't afford to split out like 30 of Vernix. Um, but like if I got a dupe Scythe, I would keep the Scythe, or if I got a dupe Rapier, I'd keep the Rapier. Why not? Um, and I would just split it out with gold from the main. Whenever I'll go back to next one day to green log it years down the line. Well, I don't know how long it'll take me to complete my goals, but maybe years down the line. Um, I might keep a couple Torva pieces. Um, might keep a couple ZCBs. I don't know. Um, at TOA, I've started keeping dupes now. Um, and my philosophy behind it is basically imagine if I have infinite money on the main. Having a bigger bank value on the Ironman means a lot more than having a bigger bank value on the main. So if it's like, one half dozen or the other, who cares, right? Which account it's on, I'd rather have it on the Ironman.
Yeah,
Um,
unless you need the GP, there's no point to drop it,
yeah, yeah. Like if I
basically.
need a GP at one point, I would 100% drop dupes over. Um, but now I don't really need I don't need the GP anymore because of TOA. And one day if I ever join BA services and do 1,000 gambles, I might make, let's say, 10 bill from that. That just goes straight to the main. That's just pure gold. So there's still a lot of content that I need to do to make money. That will make me money, I should say. So I don't really need to drop dupes over. But also, I kind of like to think about, like, what if I lose this item? Like, what if everyone's getting hacked nowadays? What if I got hacked and I had full Missouri on my account? Right, I'd lose it. Um, but it's okay because I'd have an extra in the bank. Um, because unlike some people, I'm not going to take 3 T-bows to go kill a boss. Um, so if they were to hack me, they would only get 1 T-bow, right? I have another one spared. But
Yeah,
that's
that
like
assuming
the
they hack you and they don't have your pin, that's what you mean.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But hopefully that doesn't happen. And if it did, I don't know if I'd quit or not. Um, if I could see that I could never get hacked again, I wouldn't quit. But I would need some sort of proof. Like imagine if they recovered me through um like leaked passwords, or I don't know how people get hacked. I don't know the ins and outs of that, of the underworld, but um if I could ensure that I never get hacked again, like if I got phished, I feel pretty comfortable that I wouldn't get hacked. But if I got recovered, you know,
Yeah, then you're in trouble if you get recovered.
yeah, because if they can do it once, they can do it again. But if
Yep.
I get phished or keylogged, my fault. Um, I'll just regrind the gear
That's why
unless I have
whenever
it.
I bank, I always deposit everything in the bank just in case. Like
Yep,
not whenever I
same.
bank, sorry. Whenever like I log out, I
Yep,
deposit
same.
everything just in case.
Yep,
You never know.
yep. Almost every time, like maybe like if it's like super late and I've been grinding, or if like I'm at God Wars and I've loads of KC, I might just like screw it. I'll take the risk, but 99 times out of 100, I do bank and deposit all my gear just in case.
Nice. All right. So now the juice of the topic. So like we mentioned earlier, you get so much GP from PVMing on an iron, like long term PVMing. So what are the options you can spend money? So of course
So
there's an unethical route, which we can talk about, but obviously don't do it. And there's also an ethical route, which I think is what you should be considering doing.
yeah, so unethicals like services and logins and stuff. I don't believe in that. I draw the line at terms of service. If it's against the game rules, I don't do it. If it's frowned upon, if it's like an alt method for Ironman, I don't really mind doing it. But no one will ever log into my account. Um, I'll never log into someone else's account. Um, like I'm not going to do a fire cape for someone. I'm not going to do an infernal cape for someone. I think that's against the rules, and I think the investment I have on my account isn't worth the risk of breaking a rule. Uh, to get it banned permanently. Um,
Yeah, I fully agree with that. It's just not worth it. And that Jagex did a like at first like initially they were very like lenient on it, but then when they took their stance, I think it was like a year ago against services, it was they were very clear that it was bannable. And I'm not
yeah,
sure
I'm
how many
not.
people they banned. They might have banned a lot of people.
Yeah, and it might be one of those things to where it's like, oh, they don't ban anymore for it. But
Yeah,
that
but
still
all it
doesn't.
takes is like you never know, dude.
Yeah, what if? Yeah, but what if they get an intern and they're like, hey, look at people, doing login services. It's like an anti cheat intern, and this guy doesn't know like the office atmosphere, and it's like, oh, I have to ban everyone I see. And then they cop a ban, and you can't appeal it, right?
Yeah,
So
and you can't even do anything about it. Like they probably have the good proof on it too. Like if you try to
yeah,
appeal, you're just gonna get flamed on Twitter.
yeah. So because of that risk, I'm not going to do it. Um, but for non-login services, there are loads of ways Ironman can spend main gold. I'd say like the number one outlet would be for new content releases, being able to split. That's like the biggest, cash sink for an Ironman. And like we've already discussed, being on split teams with max mains, you get so much farther ahead than being on, Ironman teams with rags or being on FFA we do raids or something. So that's probably number one. Number two would be like various services, like in-game services. Like, everyone knows about like the BA services. Um, I wouldn't do that for pet, but whether you need a torso or um any
Level
of that.
5 for the
Yeah.
the achievements.
And then bonding alts. I spent a lot of money bonding alts. Like going for like an imbued heart, let's say. Um, I think like the method at the time I was going for it was Turiel skipping for Abyssal Demons and Smoke Devils. And so you needed four alts or three alts plus one for your Iron Man, so four accounts. To do Abyssal Demons because you needed two dance alts and you needed a like a your iron barraging, right? Let's say you go for the decays pets, then there'll come a day to where you get one. Let's say you get Rex, and then you need two alts to hold Rex so that you can kill Prime Supreme and then hop worlds. Go in again, kill Prime Supreme, then hop worlds, and um, do something like that. So bonds for those accounts. Money to train alts, like if you're doing 3+12s, number one, you can buy 3+12s. It's rather expensive. I don't know the going rate, like let's say 20 mil a raid. But you get like 133k points. Like I'm not going to say it's a money well spent, but you definitely see results for your money. And so if you were to spend like, let's say 3 bill on that, then you're getting like, let's say 20, 30 purple rolls. Um, and so the odds of that being a T-bow or the odds of that being full ancestral, uh, isn't small. So that's probably one of the better ways to spend main money as an Iron Man. That's not like on the extreme level. Um, what else would I spend money on as an Iron Man?
Yeah, you can also buy the mega scales, which are they're 450 mil, and basically I think it's a 1+23 or something like that. Do you know about mega scales?
and is that where the you get like an 80% chance of a purple and
You
the
get a
dude logs out?
66%. Yeah, the guy does solo ohm, and he leaves head phase at like 100 health, and then you just enter and kill head, and then that's it.
Yeah, I mean that is a that's one way to do it. I don't know if it's worth 450 mil to me personally, but
I
I guess
mean,
one
I was thinking about it. The only reason I would ever do it is if I have my 2K CM cape and I'm still missing pet. Then I would yeet the
maybe
GP.
maybe.
But it's like
Um
so expensive, dude. Like it's really expensive.
another way is I don't know the exact losses on this because I haven't done it, but when you get a Vernic or Justy pieces or like wards from TOA, you're supposed to sell them to the rogue shop in the wilderness to get
Yeah,
like the gold, and then you can buy it back on the main. And so you spend a little main money there. I'm not sure how much.
it's not
Um,
much. I made a video on that like a year and a half ago.
yeah.
Basically you sell it for alk value, and then your main buys it for 1.5 times alk value,
Oh, so you lose like
half the alk value.
how? Oh yeah, that's
But
nothing. That's
you
nothing.
get GP on the iron, which is like
Yeah,
really
that's the
really
big one.
good.
Oh yeah. So you can do that to like a Vernix or whatever.
I
But I
did
mean
that
that's
for
very
all my
little.
top dupes because the top dupes alk for quite a lot. Like Justy top is a 3.6 mil alk.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So whenever I get top stuff or
And
whatever,
the
I'm
Avernic is 1.5 mil, which is not much. And I think
yeah,
the
I'm
legs are 2.7. And I think the Rapier and Scythe are like 3.6 and 3 mil. So they're very worth doing for top dupes. Chambers dupes, they're not much, the alk value, so it's not really worth. Toa dupes, it's only the shield that's 3 mil. Everything else is like under 600k alc.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I've just been hoarding all the items. I do struggle with cold. Um, I'm hoping it ends soon. I don't know what's going to end my struggle, but I'm like barely keeping up with rune costs, but I'm keeping up with it. So I haven't had to alk or drop any raid dupes yet, but we'll see here soon. I got another 1,000 TOA to go through, so
Oh yeah, that's too. I forgot to touch base on this, but like for example, for 2k Toa, you need like 400,000 soul runes, or is
oh
it
yeah, it's
more than that?
nuts. It's nuts. That staff, it is good, 100% worth using, but it goes through
Yeah, it's
runes.
like yeah, it's rough.
I think I was using a staff worth of runes every like 8 to 10 days, depending on how much I played, and that's like 13 mil in chaos runes. And then the soul runes, I had so many from chambers. I don't know how much 40k soul runes cost.
They're
Um,
similar to blood runes in price.
really. So I
Yeah,
mean, you're spending what 25 mil gold, 30 mil gold even on a fully charged staff. It's a
yeah.
lot of gold.
It's rough. It's GP is very important now for us. Like I used to not care about it, but now I'm like fuck. I need to start alking shit and
Yeah, same. I used to not care until I went for 2k TOA. Now I
wait for
do care.
2k top with the scythe. It's gonna be
Yeah,
rough
that's
too.
why I'm making all the blood runes. It's not because I want to, it's because I need to and good post max XP, so
You could also grind like a rune dragon completion, and like there are ways to make money on an iron that are not too bad. Or you hunt like the
yeah.
Vorkath green log for GP,
Yeah,
Hydra green log, stuff like that.
I was thinking that, especially with Vorkath, it's like you're supposed to do it for post max XP, so I was like, I should be doing it, but dude, it's so boring.
Yeah, it's
Um
horrible. I only do it during comps now.
and then rune dragons, I was thinking about that too, but I'm so worried about fish because I
About
got a lot of
food,
fish. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like I don't know how much you go through, and I don't know. I'm quite scared of going through all my fish.
you go through a lot, but if you just fish bombs, it's not too bad. Bombs are really easy to get and to cook. There, you can one tick cook them too if you're desperate.
Yeah, I do have quite a lot of dark crab
Oh yeah,
saved
that's
up.
good too. That's not. I never had issues with the fish.
So I used to use rune dragon alts back in the day, and I know that they would go through food quite often. But I actually just got my Justy helm like 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago maybe. So now I have full Justy, so I might go back. But I also don't have a DFS. Do you need a DFS there if you use normal anti-fires?
Well, if you bring the super anti-fires with a Vernic, you're fine. But you have to make the super, the superior bones.
Yeah, I don't have many superior bonds.
But they're worth. The Avernic speeds it up so much. Like it's a
Yeah,
huge
so
increase.
I might do it after like Castle Wars. I need AFK stuff to do. Like whenever we do our trios that we've been doing lately, I might go to Rune Dragons.
Maybe I'll join you because that's a really nice grind. It's a good break too.
Oh yeah. And it gives just so much gold. It's
Yeah,
insane.
and
But
you need it.
oh yeah. And it used to be solved with revs, but now revs is a relatively short grind compared to what it was, and um you can't buy the protection services. Speaking of original topic, protection services are also pretty big. Um I don't think there's any right now for the wilderness. But I could imagine,
Oh, they will 100% be in the future
yeah, I could imagine someone would sell 2.2k protection.
for like the
Um
bosses too.
yeah, I could imagine that. And I think they would be pretty steep. Do I think that it'll happen anytime soon? I don't know. Do I think it'll be affordable? I don't know. But if it were to happen, that's another way to spend gold. Um, Back in the day, you used to be able to buy like Callisto protection. I had bought that
Yeah, I
from
remember
like,
that. The people would
yeah,
rag you and they would tell you to join their Discord to buy
yeah.
a protection. I remember.
I actually like you could pay for like a rank to become a PKer. And I was actually a PKer in their Discord. And I hate PvP. I can't stand it. but I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying like this, single slash multi clan, and I think I still have the rank. But obviously the CC's dead now since Callisto has been reworked.
There's one thing too you can spend GP on. You can buy CM and top boosting, which basically is like like two gamers carry you through. I don't think it's worth for Tob unless like you're really low level. But for CMs, you could pay. I never done it, so I don't know the like all the insides and outs. But all I know is that you can pay like I think it's 8 mil per kill count, and you leash like a CM mass to get a kill count.
So they do like a 2+1. You just use
No, it's like a 20 man or something, and you just scale an AFK for
and you
the
pay 8 to be a scaler.
yeah to be a scaler.
Man,
I don't think it's worth it because like the raids are slow. They're like 50-minute raids or something. So
but
like
yeah,
the
like but during work,
that's what I was
like it,
thinking. Like if I'm working from home, it could be decent. But then I'm not sure what their schedules are. And also, it's like I'd rather just do CMs normally. You can get sub 35 trios really easily. So
yeah. I'm thinking about it. If they were to offer like a bulk deal, like 3 mil a KC, and I'm just a perma scaler, I'd consider it. 6 bill for that cape, and like the time saved, I could.
if you AFK it, it's really good.
Yeah, oh my god, you have a lot of alps.
Oh yeah, I know. I have a more
What is that? What is that from?
uh Slayer,
Dude, I got like 5 mil in alps. Like I
and I
am.
don't touch my dragon items. I like them. I like to collect them because it's fun.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
haven't
I
upped
am.
my dragon items since I was like level 80 combat.
Yeah, you have a lot more alks than I do. I got maybe 10 mil in alks. I am constantly on like the threshold. Like at one point, I was making bracelets to alp.
I have so many
Just,
gems too. I could do that, but I CBA for now.
but yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ways to use main money, and I really think Ironman especially look over it. Um, and I think that you know if people were to look into the ways they can spend money on a main to boost their not boost, but like to gain advantages on their Ironman, I think they'll start seeing the importance. Um, because every time you talk to an Ironman, um, they never split or they never value main money, but it's so strong, it's so important.
Yeah, I fully agree.
And now because of TOA, I think you and I both have made money now, which is
Well,
super nice.
I was not very smart when I got. Oh shit! I can't talk about it. I don't want to spoil my video. Well, basically, I got a drop and I was very excited and I gave away money to the team. And
Yeah,
I
I did
also
that
had to
too.
pay for like the 8 man Toa speedrun. I had to pay for that for the CA because I wanted to save
Yeah,
time. I think that's actually one more thing you can buy the
the
boosting
CA,
for the
but
CAs.
yeah,
Like
yeah, those get expensive.
they're expensive, but the time save is so big. Like I also
It
bought
is.
the CM 3 man and 5 man like over a year ago, and those ones they were 70 mil for 3 man and 140 mil for 5 man, and I think they literally saved me like a weekend because doing that legitimately by finding your own team is brutal.
Oh yeah,
Now it's
especially
easier
with.
though because of like Shadow and Missouri and
Oh yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But back then that was like really worth it. And for the 8 man
Especially,
Toa, that was like one and done. They were so organized. Like I literally just showed up, bam. They invited me to the party. We sent it one and done with like a minute and a half to spare. And I also have a really crazy PB. Like I'll PM it to you if I can find you. So it's really nice to flex on like the FFA worlds. But
oh yeah, that's
I
that's
got
nuts.
giga carried. Like they were so well coordinated. It
I
was
think.
really fun to watch.
Oh dang, yeah, yeah. You did a lot faster than me. I think mine. I got so funny story about the 8 man speed run. So we did the 8 man speed run, and I died as the boss was dying,
Oh, you didn't get it.
and I didn't get it, and it was 18 flat.
Oh,
So like everyone else got it except for me because I died. And so they instantly ditched me as they should have. And so I had to find a new team. I found a new team, and then we did like 2 or 3 attempts and got it again. Except we got 18 minutes and 1 tick.
so you didn't get it.
I got it. The
Really?
game gave it to me. 18 minutes and a tick, and it gave it to me.
All right, I'm
Um,
PMing Jagex, dude. They have to remove that from you.
I
You don't
submitted a
deserve your
bug
Zuck helm
report.
anymore.
I submitted a bug report in my mind, but they didn't take it away from me, so I didn't say anything.
Well, a lot of the
Um,
CAs were bugged too, so I'm not. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
it was only a tick though. It's not like if you did like 20 minutes and you got the sub 18, that would have been more excessive. But that's
so I'm
fine.
not sure. I'm not sure where they end
Wait, did
their.
you get it or did your entire team get it?
Only I got it. I think it was because I
Really?
was. Yeah, so
So
I
I think it's because you
instantly
had
ditched
it
them.
before. That's so funny, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what the requirement is to get it, but I instantly ditched them afterward. And I think the only reason I'm the one that got it and no one else did is because I was the party leader. So
Oh, maybe that could be it too. Or it's because they saw like in your previous PB that you had it.
maybe I don't know,
That's
but
so weird.
yeah, pretty much the day that they released those CAs and I saw that there was an 8-man. I at the time I was playing another game called Diablo 2. I play like a private server, and it the seasons reset like every 4 months, let's say.
Hmm.
And so I wasn't even playing RuneScape at the time. I was playing this other game. Um, and as soon as I saw that they dropped that 8-man, I instantly logged on to do it because I was like, if I wait a week, this thing is going to be 10 times harder to complete because no one will do it.
Yeah, you were right too.
Oh yeah, like I couldn't imagine completing it today. Like I wish I could see inside of like Jagex's data center or whatever, and to see how often that 8-man TOA is completed. It has to be once a day at this point.
Well, the
Um,
boosting services go burr, dude. They're
oh
making
yeah,
bank. They charged me 385 mil for that.
I I would have loved to be like one of those boosters in
Oh,
like four
same.
in 4D, and then just reading those combat achievements and being like, wow, they put an 8-man on here.
They're probably just like fucking licking their lips, like, oh hell yeah, dude, we're making bank.
Yeah, it's like that meme where the dude's like wiping his tears with $100 bills. That's
But what's cool too about them is that they're not like unethical. They actually like use the
yep,
GP for
that's
like real reasons. They don't RWT it, which is
yeah,
why
they
like I was very happy to use them for that because I was really against boosting. I only did three, by the way, those three. But given that how they manage it, I was like, okay, I think this is worth. Like, if they were RWTing the money, I would have felt really, like, I would have probably not done it. I would have felt bad or
yeah, because
unethical.
yeah, like the people that you're talking about, they use it to like boost pets. Like, they buy court boosters for, like a mill a kill or however much it is, and they'll buy like, Zammy boost or Bandos boost. Like, so the money isn't going to like the real world trading
But don't you know?
scene.
You know Lucid's dream, right?
Oh yeah, like they use the money for like legit boosting reasons.
Yeah, I was talking to
Um,
him too. They were very they were kind of guiding me through it, and they were very clear on what to do. Like, I mean, I knew how to CM, so I didn't really need the help. But like, if I was really newbie, like they did everything perfectly. Like they were telling me what to do, what to pray, and like it was really
yeah,
reclined.
I've seen Lucid do like a TOA boost on stream, and like I would feel intimidated being someone getting boosted because just hearing him be like, pray range, pray mage, equip your ZCB, pray rigor, shoot the boss. And it's like, dude, I couldn't keep up. Like he's like, tick for tick explaining what to do. Well, not tick for tick, but like every like 5 seconds he'll tell the boostee to do something, and
Dude,
I
well,
could
it
keep
was
up.
so funny because like I joined the call and they're like they're eight we're eight people on a call, right? Because everyone's on the Discord. And then the dude's like, do you have a ZCB? I'm like, no, I don't. He's like, okay, no worries. And then we enter the first room, and he's like, all right, you're gonna ZCB twice. And I'm like, bro, I told you I don't have a ZCB. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm. It's like muscle memory to me. And I'm like, it's fine, it's fine. The next room, he's like, okay, you're gonna ZCB here. And I'm like, bro, I told you I don't have a ZCB. The guy's like a full robot. He was just talking, like spitting out the information as he was going, like unconsciously.
Yep. It's almost like rubbing it in your face. They don't have a ZCB, by the way.
I know. I need one. I know I need one. Browntree got one today too, which is kind of cool.
That's good.
But I'll get one day when I get motivation to do next.
Maybe like off air we can talk and we can maybe do some next during high PK times when you can't go into the wilderness because of PKers.
Yeah, that's the
I
time.
wouldn't mind sending next because I do need it green logged. It's good money. I don't
Well,
care
there's a
about
lot of people in
supplies
the
anymore.
CC that send it. I just don't do it with them because I don't like next. But
Yeah,
I'll suck it up
it's
one
quite
day.
boring. So I think that leads into like the next topic, the next completion time. What are your thoughts on it?
Oh, we skipped the CM one, but yeah, we can talk about next because it's a good segue. I think
Oh
it's
yeah,
too
yeah. Well,
long, but that's just because I mean, okay. So here's the thing. So there's a bunch of different like scales you need to look at, or different factors you need to look at that makes a boss completable in a reasonable time. So for
mhm.
example, Tob, it's like a 400-hour grind, but Tob is really really fun, really engaging. It's awesome. So everyone does it anyways. Like if Tob was 800 hours, I'm sure people would still love it. Now the thing with Nex is the boss is long. It's like I think it's like close to 400 hours as well, and it's not fun. It's just the same thing over and over again. There's no like the mechanics changed, and there's some little things you can improve that are, make the boss slightly better, but it's not a big improvement as opposed to Tob. Like for example, I'll give you an example. In Tob, let's just look at Maiden specifically. You can do so many small things in Maiden that changes the room completely. So you can clump the 50s and the 70s spawn together and stack them. You can freeze the 30s and skip, which is freaking awesome. You can solo freeze north and get all four tick perfect. You can stand back and T-bow, and then when your arrow hits, you can one tick barrage on the same time to hit the crabs. There's just so much depth to Maiden, and it's the first boss, and you have five more after. And that's what
Yeah,
makes Tob so much more fun. Now,
but
if Next was a lower time to complete, that would have been cool. Or if they made the boss significantly different, where like each of the four minions have a like changes the room completely, that could have been cool
yeah,
too.
yeah. I could have seen something like that, like a little mini raid, not like a mini raid, but you know what I mean. Something more in depth than simply, you know, you shoot the boss in the corner and it dies in 3 hits, and then you shoot next again.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
it's like there's some small things about Next that are cool. Like you can eat a shark while you run between the minions. You can like step back, do flinching, and like there's some small things, but they're not as fun as Tob. Tob is just and then Tob, dude, like you can Pog tank, you can five tick Scythe Zarpus. On
yep.
Milos, you can be tick perfect with your team and save like 30 seconds, which is
But
really
in
awesome. Like,
but in fairness, there is zero chance that when they developed TOB that they put those mechanics in
oh
there.
yeah,
Those
it's all
mechanics,
accidental.
100% mistake. Yeah.
Well, it's like Chambers. Look
Same
at
with
Solo
Chambers.
Cox. That was not
100, yeah,
intentional.
100% a mistake. Like there is not a soul on earth that could have imagined we'd be doing the things that we're doing today at Chambers. However, we're doing these things in raids because raids are extremely complex, not one dimensional like Next. Next is super one dimensional. You know, shoot the boss dies, right? But in raids, there's so much going on that it allows for this. And I think that even though it was like a mistake that you can stack 50s and 70s and you can skip 30s, I think that it's a mistake that is just natural to come out because the content is so complex. Like even look at Red Xing Baba or Butterflying. Like ain't no shot someone thought you would ever be able to butterfly Akka, but it's one of those things to where Akka is such a complex room that people will find a complex solution, and I think that's a lot more fun than having such a one dimensional boss like uh like Nex. But yeah, I agree. The completion time too long, unless it was made fun, like you know, with like reworking the boss.
But the
You
thing
know,
is,
like
they can't really rework it because
not at
the
this point,
next
no.
is from RS3 or RS2, whatever it was back then. And I think that's like the iconic nostalgic feeling that people wanted from Next. Now the thing that sucks is that Next, back when it was released back in the day, it was considered a hard piece of content because you know you needed a pack yak bruise to do, and it was hard because it did a lot of damage. It wasn't hard because it was mechanically difficult. Now the thing
Yeah.
is that back then in RS2 they didn't really know how to implement mechanics that made the game harder. Like there was no sepulcher back then. There was no movement. Like people didn't understand the movement pattern as well as they do today.
Hmm.
Like there's
Oh yeah.
so like the movement pattern mastering that like for CG for example with Wook's walking or Vorkath Wook's walking, or if you look at like a Callisto room in the Wildy update, like you can walk and path over all the traps. Like that's a mechanic that adds complexity and difficulty to a piece of content that Next was not able to achieve.
Oh yeah,
and that
and
that is what they missed. Now, if they rework Nex, I'm sure people are going to be really pissed because they're going to like Nex is not going to be the same as RS2 was. But I do agree they need to do something, and but I don't think they will. I think they're going to leave it as is.
I think they might come out with a solo bowl next version if demand like increases for it. But I hope they do something because it's iconic, but now it just like left a bad taste in my mouth, and I think in a lot of HLC Ironman specifically, their mouths
Yeah,
too, just because like it's just boring. It's not fun.
it's
Um,
Nightmare 2.0, and the drops are better.
yeah, Nightmare isn't fun either. Like Nightmare should be fixed. Um,
They already tried with Fasani's. They did a decent job, but I still think Nightmare is
it's
bad.
yeah, there's a few things about Fasani's that I wish they would update. I the common loot, like I know that at the time of Nightmare development, everyone was like, we want God War style drop tables. But it is so boring to kill this boss for 8 minutes. You're using a
Well,
scythe.
the boss is just not Iron Man friendly. That's it.
It, even I think um even the burnt pages, using burnt pages for that Tomb of Fire. I don't know the math, so this is all speculation. But I would imagine if you got a harm on one kill count, okay, and you fire surged Fasani's Nightmare until you green logged it, you would use more burnt pages than 200 mil fire making.
Oh yeah, 100% you would. You'd
And
probably
so
use
it's
like 2 bill XP worth of fire making.
yeah, and so it's like, you drop this harm orb that give or at the time was BIS, but give or take useless. If I go for 200 max, max fire making XP, um, I still run out before I green log the boss I get it from. So there's like multiple layers of annoyances of Nightmare of mine. That's why like Nightmare is probably my most like least done boss. I think I have like 270 something Fasani skills and no intent to go there anytime soon.
Yeah, same. I did
Um,
the CAs and I left.
yeah, I mean it's Fasani's. It's not boring, but it's like challenging for no reward, which in of itself is just boring. Like if I was getting like 100 Renars like Vedion, like okay, let's compare Vedion and Fasani's Nightmare. Vedion you kill in like a minute and a half solo, and you get 100 Renars from it. And then you get like 14 Bass from a 8 minute high intensity. You're using a scythe fight. It's boring. And they just did it again with Nex.
But I think they learned their lesson. Musfa drop tables are actually good, so I think they learned from that. I mean, Musfa I think it was a little overkill though, but they still kind of learned. So I'm happy
Yeah,
that like I have high hopes for Jagex in the future.
yeah. I think that moving forward, definitely, they're doing a lot better, and they're getting better every time. So I definitely think that the path going forward is looking good. So I'm excited to see what this year holds and what future years hold.
Indeed, likewise. And I also think the ZCB is a very interesting item. It was very
Yeah,
underrated when it came out, and
dude,
now it's like so good.
people were destroying that crossbow on release. Like they were like, "This is such a garbage item, and
Yeah,
crossbows will never man up to the T-bow." And look, nowadays we use it everywhere.
it's because they were seeing it not as like a main hand weapon. They were seeing it as a main hand weapon and not a spec weapon. That
Yeah,
was the issue. But as a
I
spec
never.
weapon, it's cracked. Like
It is so good. I never would have like paid attention to how good it is. Um, it's just so good. It's definitely a must-have for mains and Ironmen. I would definitely get it over like Torva plate legs. Like if I was a main and had enough GP for plate legs or ZCB, I'd 100% go for ZCB.
oh yeah, for sure.
Such a good item. And I think it fits its niche perfectly. I think that you know it's an expensive item because you have to have like 2 inventory slots for it. So like inventory management wise, it's expensive. Um, but for what it's worth, like 2 inventory slots, I'd give that up in a heartbeat.
Hey, someone got a fang. It's 46 mil. It's rising. It was 40 mil.
Yeah, it went down. I don't know what made it go up. Maybe people go into the wilderness content
Yeah,
for the new
people like
bosses.
not doing Toa because it's less money and
Yeah.
interesting. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the ZCB. I hope I get it one day in the near future
Oh yeah.
because it's
It's
really good
definitely
for
good.
speeds too. If you want to go for like flex speed runs.
Oh yeah. But one thing I do hate about the ZCB is this is from the Iron Man's perspective when you're doing Nex. It is such a toxic weapon because I remember on Next release, people who got spooned the horn, they never tanked because it gave defense. And so you're over here tanking, like you're essentially boosted. You're like an alt for them pretty much, just eating all the damage while they're over here doing like all the DPS. And it was such a toxic weapon. I hated it with all my heart when it came out because I didn't have one. Um, just because it gave defense bonuses.
Yeah,
So
so you
I
tank
hope.
less, so it was, and then you'd also MVP more because you have the ZCB spec.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Uh,
and it's like a big upgrade too.
oh
Like
yeah,
that extra
it's
10%,
crazy
super big for Nex. And
because all your
even
damage
nowadays,
from next comes from the rubies, and then it makes the base damage 10% higher. So right there, it's
oh
like a
yeah,
10% buff.
and then nowadays, because of how much defensive armor we have, sometimes if I get like a Armadillo task, I'll just sit there with those opal bolts, ZCB Ellie with a light bearer, full mastery. I'll just face tank Armadillo and just bolt it to death. And
Yeah, I heard it
like
was
it,
good. I remember you telling me
yeah,
that.
it doesn't do 99 hit points worth of damage. And so after it dies, I'll blowpipe spec twice, heal up on the minions, and then by the time I kill it again, I have another two blowpipe hits. And it's like a no food method, and you don't have to catch chins, you just have to bolt it to death, which is super nice. But yeah, that ZCB's cracked. I love it. Definitely fills the niche well. But the boss, yeah, I'm not a fan of the boss.
I'll get it one day. If this video gets over 1,000 likes, I'll get. No, I'm just trolling. Nah, fuck that. Fuck
I'm
next.
going to make 1,000 YouTube alts just to thumbs it up.
No, I'll get it. I know I'll get it. I know Nex is good. I need Torva and all the items from it. And I'll need to get Greenlog eventually anyways, so it's probably better off to just get it as soon as possible.
Yeah, especially with that Torva recolor that I think Mod Soften
Oh yeah,
tweeted
I
out.
saw
I
that.
don't know if
Looks
you've seen it.
sick, dude.
Yeah, the Blood
The
Torva.
Blood Torva.
Yeah,
It'll
dude.
match with the scythe so well too.
I can't wait to get it. Like it's gonna, if it comes out, it's gonna look so sick.
How's it gonna be dropped, do you think?
I don't know. That's why people were speculating the like hard mode next. Um, and that would be where it would come from, and it would be like a Fasani's Nightmare.
Like a Solar Bull Nex?
Yeah,
Damn, that'll be really cool.
yeah. Maybe it might be smart. It's such a good weapon. It's hard to say smart, but maybe it would be a strat to wait around for hard mode next to come out, so you could just solo it, and maybe it's a lot more supply conservative, and who knows?
And no teams either.
Yeah, no teams, but then again, who knows if it'll ever come out? Like I don't know what they've said on it. I haven't really followed it outside of like hearing like, oh, this would be cool to drop from hard mode next. I don't know their plans for hard mode next, but or Fasani's next. So I don't know the play for that in terms of like a macro viewpoint, whether you should wait or whether you should go ahead and send normal next.
I think I should still send Nex if I have a trio good team. Like if everyone has Zuck
Yeah.
Helms too, it makes the task like the trip last so long doing one kill
Oh
trip
yeah.
trios.
And then I think you can get like let's say like 200 kill count like preloaded, and then you can do a kill and then quick bank and just go right in and only use like hard food and some prayer pots.
Yeah,
And
that's what we were doing with Sunshine and a few others in the CC.
yeah, it's like 15 kill count to get in nowadays, and you get like 8 from the kill.
Yeah, with the
So
Zuck Helm it's 15.
yeah, so you get like half of the entrance fee back, which is super nice. I think that's one thing that they did really well with Nex is just how quick it is to get kill count. I really liked how they focused
Oh
on.
yeah, that imagine dude if it was one kill per like kill count. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it would be frustrating. So I definitely think Mod Arcane was the one behind those numbers, and I think that you know he definitely focused on killing the boss rather than killing spiritual mages. Um,
In ours too,
so
was it one kill count per kill? I think it was, right?
I don't remember, but I do remember that we had the ancient ceremonial that let you
Oh, to
skip kill
skip.
count.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Maybe
I
they
don't think
should have added that too. That would have been nice.
I think they thought about it, but I don't know if they thought it was overpowered or what. But
Well, the
I think
Zuck
where
helm basically similar.
yeah, I think where it is now is perfectly fine.
Nice. So let's go move on to the CM topic, which we skipped. So the first question here for challenge mode Chambers of Zarek is potential improvements, Normie and Iron balancing for five mans. I'm not sure if that
So
second part made sense to you, but I can explain if so, if not.
yeah, so I think what that's referring to is like as an Iron Man, it is ridiculously annoying not being able to pick up seeds, not being able to pick up pots. So in a 5 man especially, you're basically put on prep and you have to force a shaman kill, and if you don't get a shaman kill, you have to go rake. And it's such an inconvenience, people won't take you. Like there's
Yeah,
no
they don't
way you're
take you. I get
you're not
denied a
gonna
lot in We Do raids.
yeah, you're not gonna find an efficient 5 man that'll take you. Zero shot. Um and even then, it definitely takes a lot of practice to get into a good rhythm and to get a good pattern for prepping in fives. Unless there's like a guide written for how to prep as an Ironman for fives, I don't think there is, because no one does it. Um, so there's definitely a lot of there's definitely a good way to prep as an iron, but I don't know it because no one invites me because I'm an Ironman. Um, and so not being able to pull stuff out of shared is annoying. Um, However, I'm kind of torn here because I think that Ironman or Iron Man and they stand alone. So is it overpowered to take from shared? Like what if they had a check to like for overload plus, you have to have 90 herb as an Iron Man. And if you have that, then you can pull an Iron Man plus out of the shared. Um it also not being able to use the shared makes banking as an Iron Man extremely frustrating because I think mains, they dump all the pots in the shared and they can like withdraw all or deposit all, and
Yeah,
they're
very easy for them to quick bank.
super easy. There's very set inventories for every room to where you have X gear at X room, and when you get to the next chest, you withdraw all, deposit all, and then you're good, right? But as an Iron Man, you can't do that because all the pots get shoved in there. Um, Maybe there's a method for Iron Man. I don't know it.
I learned
Um,
it, but like the only problem is for vanguards, I need to manually regear. But then everything
yeah,
else I can dump and withdraw.
yeah, but it's just so I could see, you know, one solution could be like they add a check. And if you have 78 herb, you can bring out bruise restores. If you have 90 herb, you can bring out ovals. Um that would make okay, so here's the consequences of that. Number one, it would kind of mitigate the self-restriction of an Iron Man, but it would make it fun. Like I would enjoy CMs as an Iron Man if I could basically be a main.
Yeah,
Um
same. It would also make it so much faster
it'd make
for
it fat. Oh
irons.
yeah,
Well, I
way
mean, it'll
faster.
only make it faster for people going for like the 2K
Oh
CM right?
yeah.
It's a
It,
very
it would
niche like improvement if they ever did that. But I don't know. I'm torn like you. If they added it, I would be super happy. But deep inside, I would know that it's not an Iron Man playstyle if they did add that.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm torn. If I wouldn't vote, I would if like it was a poll question, I'd probably say skip this. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'd vote yes.
Yeah, I'd vote
Um,
yes too.
yeah,
But I would not
but
be the one on Twitter to say like, please pull this. You know?
yeah, I'm not going to beg for it. But if it came across the pipeline, I'd say yes, just because it would make CMs on an iron way more fun. I think there's like 3 irons with 2K CM.
Yeah, there's three. I checked this
Yeah,
yesterday.
you know why? Because CM on an iron is AIDS. Like
You'd
it's
have to do
super.
like only trios and we do raids.
Only trios or solos, and fuck that, dude. if I could do five mans, I would be having a blast at CMs.
You can form a 5-man iron only, and then you have everyone do a small prep. It would work, but
In
like
a
good
per
luck finding consistent 5-man irons that want to
Exactly.
see
That's
him.
Team Finder Simulator, right? That's
Yeah,
the hard
that's
part.
gonna be hard as fuck, dude.
And then plus if they're irons, what are the odds that everyone has max?
Yeah, and also some of them might like stay until Tebow and then they leave.
Yeah, yeah,
Like not a lot of
exactly.
people would go for the cape. Like it's a very niche community of gamers that are willing to go to that length of grinding.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just I mean, it's hard for me to say. I would like to be able to pull stuff out of shared and to use shared, but I'm an Iron Man. I chose it, so I'm not going to complain that I can't.
Maybe
But
they
I would
can make it so you know how when you're in irons and you kill a boss in CM, the pots drop to everyone.
that would be fine too.
Maybe they did it so that it's always the case in CMs, because that way you can always get seeds for shamans. So right there, that's like
Yep.
a decent. I think it would be if they changed that alone, it would make people more willing to take you. But
Yeah, like
still, they probably still wouldn't. But
if
like,
if they did that, I feel like I could pot with mains. I would have to come up with like the strat for, what pots to make and how much to put in shared and how much to put in private.
the
Um,
strat is you do 6 restores, 12 brews per player you're prepping for. That's it.
yeah, but
That's
I'm
like
like,
very conservative too. So it's you're chilling.
yeah, but I don't know the numbers. Like how many vials of water do I put into the shared? Is it two inventories? Is it two and a
It
half?
depends when like some of them they prep during thieving. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's going to be someone prepping the main pots during thieving, and I'll prep half the main pots. They do half the main pots, and I make my own.
I mean, I would
I
just prep everything honestly, because like as a you may as well just prep everything, and then they just full send, and then you join them on like tightrope.
maybe, but then you can't log out either, because then
Oh yeah, you have to run back. That's true.
yeah, you got to run through. Yeah, so that'd be an improvement, as if your potions didn't get nuked from private.
I don't know why that's the case. That's so weird.
I know it is so annoying because like that's yeah, that would be a huge benefit. So I could log out and I don't have to run through the entire floor again. Like what if I die on Muta? I don't get the benefit of being able to log out. Um and like I don't know why we can't. I don't know why potions get nuked.
It might be because it's like
Um
not it like deletes the save state of the chest, so it just yeets everything.
yeah, who knows? But I'd vote yes for that improvement. I think actually I might actually make a tweet, see if they can actually do that, but that's a good idea. Um but yeah, I mean that's one improvement. What are some other improvements? Maybe like an official team finder. Like I don't know if you played WoW, but they had like a dungeon finder.
No,
I
I never
think
played. So you could like
yeah,
post like a we do raids basically.
imagine like we do raids, but what if it was this? What if like you would like do a team finder and it would dump you into a random person's clan chat. Like you would go to a board. Let's say the board is at Chambers, and then you would say you're looking for challenge mode, trio, X number of KC minimum, X number of, put some stipulations on it. Um, and then it would all across the game servers. It would dump you all into the same CC, and then you can work it out or whatever. I know some
But I
people are
find
asking.
like we do raids is already pretty close to that.
Yeah, it is.
Like you
Some
could
people are.
just post and then wait for people to join your CC, and while you wait, you can make pods or like AFK skill at the bank.
Yeah,
That's what I
I,
was
I
doing.
I don't mind it. I think it's fine the way it is with Voodoo raids. I just know a lot of people are thinking about it,
It would
and
be cool
asking.
though to have it like Jagex like supported.
Yeah, but then again, like the amount of dev work and bugs that would come out of something like that,
Oh yeah,
and
forget it.
scamming, the amount of scamming that would come out of that, honestly, I'd probably trust Weedy Raids more, and I would rather the devs do something else instead of making like a team finder.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
PvM and content or improvements of the
sure,
current
yeah,
game.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
I'm just throwing
agreed.
out ideas on like what ifs. That
But
could be
what's
like a
cool
what
too
if
about We Do
thing.
Raids is you meet people and then you add them. Like MVP Machine, I actually met him doing CM We Do Raids.
Yeah, I mean, and because of him, um, I'll get loads of TOA experts. I'll get loads of CMs, and what are the odds that we go to hard mode top? I might get loads of hard mode top KC with him, and so
Yeah, maybe
that's
he'll
a
do hard
really
mode top eventually.
yeah that's a really good relationship to have. And I wouldn't have it if it wasn't for Beauty Raids. So we will
Did
definitely
you meet MVP Machine and we do raids as well?
yeah
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I think I joined Professor Top once, and he was in there. So
Yeah, I met all his friends through MVP Machine. Like I was
yep,
doing CMs. Like before Toa came out, I did for like 2 months. I was just doing CMs and we do raids after work. And then when Toa came out, I just like kind of pushed it off. And after like 3 months, I started going back to Toa, and I looked into We Do Raids for the first time, and I saw his post, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I went to say hi, and he's like, "Oh shit, Lone, what are you doing here?" And then ever since, I think I sent 800 Toas with him or something.
yeah,
Went
like
hard.
having that like relationship and that consistency is super good.
Oh yeah, it's priceless.
I think it's like friends is like the best upgrade. Friends are best or something. What's the saying?
I don't know what the saying is, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And okay, how about the other question here? Is 2KCM too hard to get? And also, do you think Jagex will ever combine the CM and the regular chambers together for the capes like they do for Toe and Tob? And
So
should they?
I don't think 2KCM is too hard. I think it's too annoying for Ironman because we can't use shared. Um, but I don't think the solution to 2KCM and the difficulty of 2KCM is to combine regulars and CM. I think making Ironman be able to play more with mains is the best approach to making the two KCM cape more achievable for irons because it's definitely achievable. I'm not trying to say that CM like no one's going to get it or whatever, because everyone can get it. It's
Just
just
takes so much
annoying as hell.
longer.
It is super long and it's super annoying.
You have to do like
But
35-minute trios with downtime to
yeah,
full
and then
set
like
it.
27 if you have like a god team.
Yeah,
But
God team. Yeah.
what are the odds that you guys are going to do trios 24/7? They're going to be consistent, and someone just doesn't dip after 1,000 or after they get a T-bow or whatever,
Yeah, that's
or
another thing too.
claws. Like, what if they're missing claws and they're only there for claws? So it's definitely like team locked, um, not like time or skill locked. And so I think that we should fix the problem, which is the teams, because being an Iron Man, you can't do fives. Um, you can't do like efficient fives. Um, and I think they noticed that a little bit, so I think they moved away from that like Iron Man getting restricted in such a negative way, and they didn't do it for Top and they didn't do it for TOA, which is really good. Because I couldn't imagine going for 2K TOA if you had to prep. Like that would take so much longer. But for 2K CMs, not too hard, too annoying. I would like to see CMs fixed before they combine the kill counts. I definitely think combining the kill counts would be the wrong approach.
I'm not a fan of it either because I like the 2K CM cape being very prestigious and being an item that's like not gone for by many players. So that makes the item more satisfying to get.
Yeah,
And at the same time, if they combine the kill count, they're like devaluing a lot of people, which it like see that in the previous podcast we talked about it, but like if they want to do it, they should just do it right away. Just do it now, get it over with. But the thing that scares me the most is if I get my 2K cape and then they revert the change and make it so the regular counts. That devaluation is huge compared to being able to do regular chambers for the cape.
definitely.
So
Yeah,
I'd be really sad, but it would make sense for them to do it because that's how Tob and Toa works. Even though they came out in different periods of time, it would make sense for them to fix it. But I really hope they don't. I would be very sad if they did.
yeah. Especially
Even though
since
it
like
saves a lot of time, I would still be sad.
like if someone wears the 2K Toa or the two maybe right now if they wear the 2K Toa it's impressive, but if they wear like the 2K TOB and even the 2K Toa, like you know, not many people would care. They'd be like, "Oh, it's a nice cape, nice. You did a lot of kill count." But if you wear the 2K CM cape, that is a rare as fuck cape.
Yeah, it's rarer than
People have never
Third
seen the cape. People have seen the 2K TOA ones like once or twice maybe, but they don't see the fucking 2K TM. Ain't nobody wears that. So
Dude, I got my 2K top and I never wore it, bro.
yeah, because it's 2K top. It's not, it's half the time commitment of 2K CM.
Yeah, it is actually half the time. That's crazy.
Give or take, give or take. But yeah, I think that they should fix Ironman interaction with CM, not CM's itself. I think CM's is in a good spot, except for how Ironman are treated.
But I'll still full send trios if you want to join for the Cape down the road. Like here and
Oh
there, I'll
yeah, yeah,
send one or
definitely.
two.
Though after a TOA, I'm going to CM's.
Nice. So I'll be able to join you.
That's also a long ways down the line, maybe 6 months, 7 months.
Ah, damn. What's your plan for Toa? How are you gonna find teams?
I don't know, man. Uh, Worst
Yo,
case scenario, 300 solos.
really, dude?
Best
Oh shit.
best case scenario, I find like there's a guy named Velik. He's in Oblivion, has a lot of Oblivion friends, and they've been doing a good bit of TOA because he wants the 2K cape as well, but he also wants pet. But I think he's getting a little burnt out because he doesn't have the pet. But everyone else is like pulled pet in front of him. So it's like even more demotivating for him. I've been going with him a lot. Probably did like 100 kill count with him. And they're a lot faster than MVP Machine actually.
Yeah, yeah, you.
That,
I joined a few of them. They were like crazy faster
oh yeah,
because we're
super
doing
fast.
Baba start instead of a Z-back start, which right there it's like
Yeah,
a 30-second time save.
and then everyone else, everyone has max gear at all times, and everyone has a very specific role that they know exactly what to do. Very few people, they actually die a lot. Actually, I'm not going to say very few people die because they die quite a lot, but yeah, just everyone does the right thing at all times. I mean, same with their CMs. Like if you ever watch them do CM5s,
I
they'll do like
don't.
a
That looks fun.
dude, they do like 20-minute CM5s.
Oh my
Like
god,
one
dude.
one dude one dude has a PB of like 1930.
That's
Um,
a. Isn't that close to a world record right there?
Bro, they gotta have record. I couldn't imagine them not having record, but yeah, they're super cracked. But obviously I can't join.
Yeah,
I've
sucks.
begged, uh, but they said no.
Fuck, dude.
But
If I could join them and forgive, like if I get a purple, I give it to them, dude, and I don't take splits, I would, bro. Fuck.
I would too. Yeah, like if I could forfeit all purples, 100% would. No question in my mind.
That'll be
I'd rather
sick.
make yeah, I'd rather make 0 GP from CMs and do them in 20 minutes than or probably 23 with an Ironman. Um, than to do like 33-minute weedy raids, right?
Yeah, it's a insane time save. It'd be so satisfying too.
But then again, they could also make it to where we can use the shared chest. That would be the same thing pretty much. But I mean, that would also impact everyone that plays Iron Man, and Chambers is like one of those iconic grinds of Iron Man. So it might be a hard sway
Yeah,
for like the
it'll be tough.
general
I think we're stuck doing
public.
trios.
Oh yeah, I think so too. But if they ever poll it, I'll vote yes. But I'm not going to even waste my time on Twitter. I know they'll say no.
Nice. That was a good discussion there. I like CMs a lot. I used to
Me too.
hate
They're
them,
really
but
fun.
they're really like they're chill.
I used to hate them before I had Max Gear, and then once I got Max Gear, I really liked them.
They're just like they're very reclined. Like I usually do them on audibles now. Like last night we did one on. I think you were there, right? We
Oh
did a
yeah, I can
trio.
tell. Yeah, yeah,
I was
definitely.
high
Yeah.
as shit on that, by the way.
Oh yeah, I could tell. We got to the end. I'm like, why do I have 48% of the points?
Yeah. It was fun though. How fast was that? I forgot.
The first one was like 36, and the second one was like 32, I think. And then I did one with some other guy, and we did like a 29.
Oh damn.
So it was fine. I think with like a really good coordinated team, I think the average would be like 27 to 30, given like mistakes.
That's with no prep, or you guys prep for that?
Prep, but I think team prep is a little bit better than like an Iron Man trying to solo prep. It's like it's just so fast to team prep. It's like 45 seconds, just to make your 5 and 10
Yeah, and then
and
you
go.
bolt. Hmm. Now I'll get into CM soon enough. I'm just doing them passively. I need to do more Toa though, because you're ahead of me in Toa by quite a bit.
Yeah, you're ahead of me in CMs by quite a bit. So,
Yeah, it makes up for it.
but what's it called? I also like how procedural CMs are. Like you do X thing at Y time and it never changes, and it's always the same thing. I like the procedural, but like with Tob, the tanks differ. Um, what else? Tob's pretty procedural. The tanks differ a little bit. RNG on Soda Seg kind of sucks, but
Yeah, the
overall, it's
hammer RNG sucks if you're doing low scales, but if you do 4 5 mans, it's so consistent.
yeah, I definitely like the procedural aspect of CMs.
Nice. All right, let's go into the next topic, which is Musfa, the Phantom boss. So the first question here is the positive and negatives of the new boss. Just overview of the boss, I guess.
So, in my opinion, I think that the boss didn't hit the mark for its target audience. Because, like, I'm sitting over here in max gear doing like a minute and a half to, because they compared it to Vorkath. I'm doing like a minute and a half to 2 minute kills. Um, with Tebow, with Mastery, with Full Ancestral, with a Shadow. And like this is aimed at like combat level like hundreds, and it's compared to Vorkath. And they're doing like 4 minute, Bofa kills. And like I just don't think it hit the mark with its audience. I think its defense should be lowered a bit. I think its HP should be lowered a bit. I think the way it so from a max perspective, I think its phasing needs to be changed a little bit because it is the most frustrating thing to hit so high and to phase it so quickly that you'll be at the soul split phase with moving spikes still around, and they're like the moving spikes are pushing you around. I kind of wish it would phase better. Um, I think that the Z relying on the ZCB bolt proc is annoying as an Iron Man. Because I don't have a spec transfer alt, so I just have to wait for two ZCBs to go off, right? And it's just a waiting game. I think that's not the best. Um, what else? I think that's about it though. I think other than that, it's okay. Um, I like the step back method. I like how there's like a little cheese method that it takes a little bit of skill to do, but is 100% worth doing. I like how you can position the spikes in the ground to make it to where it's super easy to avoid the atomic bomb mechanic. I like the drop table. I think it was actually fine on release. Um, because it's a slow ass boss. Even for Max, like I was bringing like the same gear I'd bring to TOA to it, except for melee. Um, and I think the drops were, rewarding for that. What else? I think the pet rate is a little bit too high. It's like 1 in 2,500. I think it could be lowered to 1 in 1,500, to be honest. Um, because the people that are in max doing a minute and a half to 2 minute kills, they're not having fun at the boss. So why not just get them out of there quicker? And the people that are in, BOFA, like the target audience, the people that are killing it for money, and the people that are like gaining the PvM experience, they'll sit there a long, long time to get that pet. Similar time at like let's say 1,500 rate, similar times like Vorkath, they would be sitting at Vorkath for that pet. Um, just because the boss is so much HP, it's like 750 HP or something.
That's like
Um,
850. It's very slow
850,
too.
yeah, it's huge, huge HP pool. Um, so I guess that's like the positives and negatives of it. The run there isn't that bad. Um, it's enough to where it's worth having alts, but not long enough to where being an Iron Man, I don't complain about it. Like Nightmare Run was, you know, all puns intended, a nightmare. Um, but the Muspa one is like it's a nice little chill time to get back there. It's not too long. Um, I think the time to complete it, except for pet, I think the time to complete it isn't bad. I think it's a very respectable time to complete. Um, what else?
I think it was cool too that they you needed 5 shards to make the bow, so you got the bow really really quickly from for the clog.
Oh yeah, you don't
I
have
think
to
that
go
was
for
really
like
cool.
yeah. Um, I'm not like a super into the collection logs, so I can't say from like that perspective, like the positives and negatives. But it was super quick to get the bow, and I like that it was 5 pieces all at 1 in 100 because the variance is so low as well.
Yeah, and make
Like
it. Oh, I just Octa Glory. Fuck.
I think it's harder to get a 1 in 500 than it is to get 5 1 in 100s. Like the odds of you going triple rate.
Yeah, it goes down
Um,
significantly. The
oh yeah,
variance is so low in that in the five one in 100s.
oh yeah.
And
Like
and also what's cool is that like you can basically get like almost green log in 100 kill count, or I think it's like 120 kill count or something for 5 out of 6, which is really nice. I'm really happy about that. I don't feel like obligated to full send till the rare bow.
oh yeah, and that pet as well. That pet's gonna
That's
it's a
gonna be
brick
rough,
wall.
dude. I'm not doing that until for a while, I think.
I don't blame you. However, I do think that it really does a good job of introducing lower level PVMers into a little bit more complex complexities of PVM. Like your positioning is important because of where you place the spikes, so that you can skip the atomic bomb phase easier, or the spirit bomb, whatever it is. So pathing is important. Um, it's a longer fight, so you have to worry about prey flicking because you're not given much time. I think you're given like 2 ticks to flick mage when it does the audio cue. I like how it uses audio cues rather than a visual cue, um, and so I think there's a lot of positives in terms of getting PVMers a little bit more experience that the boss was intended to do. And I guess one last negative, I just thought of this one, is I hate how when the spikes move your character around, I hate how I hate content that moves my character for me and I can't control its movement. Like if I step on a spike, I wish that what would happen is I would take damage for every tick I'm standing on that square until I move off, rather than taking damage and then getting pushed.
Yeah, and you get stalled too when you get pushed, like for a
And you get
tick.
stalled. I hate that stall. Like if I got pushed and could instantly move, I'd be okay with it. But I hate getting pushed in a random direction and then having that stall. Well, I think the direction is like southwest unless you can't move southwest and then it pushes you somewhere else. But I hate that mechanic being, having my character controlled for me. But overall, I think it's I could be better, but hit its mark on a lot of places, but could be better still.
Nice. Yeah, I think I don't know. I didn't quite enjoy doing it, to be honest. And I'm very like pro. Like I'm a person that if I don't enjoy content, I just don't do it. That's it.
Yeah,
There's just
I mean,
no
it's
like even if it's good collection log like next for example, I haven't really done much of it. Even if it's good, I don't enjoy it. I don't do it. So
yeah, I don't enjoy it, but it could be better, so I would enjoy it. But I think it hit its mark. It teaches the people it's supposed to teach valuable PVM skills, and I appreciate that. But I still don't enjoy doing it.
did you end up getting the bow or did you quit before getting it?
I did it, so I got super lucky with it. I think so. I got it. I don't know what my KC is, like right under 500, but I got like 2 kills and 20, or 2 shards and like 20 kills, and then I went like 350 kills without another shard, and then I got the next 3 shards all within like 70 kills.
Okay, cool. So
Um,
it's just like slightly under drop rate, but not much.
Slightly under, but with like 2 really good streaks. So I got really scared for a moment because I was at like, you know, 340-ish kill count, and I only had 2 shards, and I'm like, dude, please, I beg, don't make me stay here much longer because I was bored as hell.
Yeah, you were rank 1 too for quite a while. You went hard as hell when it released.
Yeah, because I like taking time off work for new like PvM releases, and so I try to hit rank 1 for a while, depending on how Ironman friendly it is. Um, and normally I'm rank 1 for a week or two, and then I either lose interest or needs will beat me out when I go back to work. But um, yeah, it was fun competing. Um, but yeah, I don't think anyone's competing against Jamal. That guy is crazy.
Really, what's his kill count?
K4, I think he was like 2K KC in like a week and a half.
Bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, but he always does that kind of stuff. Like he'll spend like the first few days figuring out the boss and how to ult it, and then he'll triple everyone else's kills per hour because
On
he'll use
alt
like
it?
5 ults. Yeah,
Damn. He's like a spec alt, I guess.
yeah, he's like super well known for that. I think back in like the part of the RS history, way 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 back in the day, um, when people didn't know alting Cox was going to be a thing, Jamal was like one of the pioneers of alting Chambers K4. And I remember I made my alt back in the day because of Jamal, and I ended up getting 2,100 Chambers kills on an alt. Um, just being the alt prep in 4+1s because I watched Jamal do it.
So you just prep for him and get the kill count?
I prep no, it was a 4+1, so I would raid on the main and prep on the alt, and I did 2,000 of them on an alt.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I think my alt at the time was like rank 100 or something, and normal Chambers because my main had like 2,500, and then my alt had 2K, and I was like top 50 Chambers at the time, and my alt was like top 100 at the time. Way way early in the days. Those are good days. But yeah, he figured out Muspa pretty quick, and then no one could compete. I wonder what rank he is now. Let me look at my scores. But yeah, I wish they did the boss a little better, but it's not that bad to complete. Oh, he's ranked 3 at 5,300 kills. So
What the? Is he hunting pet or just kill count?
he has to be hunting the pet. There ain't no way he's there for fun.
Dude, you never know, man. Some people have. Oh. Oh, Crayons just got the 100 win tape. GZ.
Oh, dragons. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
that's
said
that's
he
his
fought
name.
you. Yeah, his Crayons is his old name. I still call him that.
God, I remember doing a couple TOAs with him back in the day when he was like 1 kill count.
Yeah, boy. He when you joined the CC and you were asking for +1s, he was joining.
I don't remember if they were good or not, or 'cause he didn't have staff. There ain't no way.
No, he had like a Hasta too.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
He was really undergeared.
But it's life of an Ironman. New content comes out and you're under geared for a while.
Yeah, but he got a Fang and I think he got a Missouri piece. I don't remember. So he's better geared now. But he finished all the wildy weapons like super quick.
Oh, that's big. The first it's up once you get the first weapon, it's not that bad, but up until then, dude, it is so bad. Using an MSB,
Oh no,
rude
but
arrows.
he had the weapons. He just finished like all the upgrades and the Void Waker.
Oh,
He did
oh,
revs like on release, not on release, like in the when you could pay for protection.
dude, I wish I could have taken advantage of that. I
Yeah, me
remember
too.
like it got patched when my iron was super low level, like maybe like a 80 combat. And I remember my goal being I was telling one of my friends because I also had like a micro or like a macro sense back then. I was telling him I was like, dude, I gotta rush these adamant bolts so I can make adamant bolts so I can go kill revs and I can pay for it on my main, pay for protection. And right about the time to where I got like 90 ranged adamant bolts,
It was
they
too
uh
late.
they patched it, and I was like, dude, that was going to be my ticket to success right there.
Dude,
Um,
I remember I was doing chambers. Like I was doing casual 3+0 chambers, and I was starting to get dupes, and I had like 400 mil or something on the main, and I was considering doing the because it was so cheap, dude. It was like 50 mil for a week, and then they were slowly raising prices, and I was
oh
so
yeah,
pissed that I didn't do it because I was like, I got time, I'll keep doing chambers. Fuck, I should have done it. I should have went hard on it because it was
Yep,
so good.
definitely, dude. That's like one of the things that I'm paying for now. Like not doing
Yeah.
it then, as I'm still paying for it.
But
Such a
it's okay.
big.
The rev buff was really nice. The five
Oh
times
yeah,
on task. Although I'm getting kind of pissed off about tutorial skipping for revs. It's kind of boring.
yeah. But the way I approach it is, I want bear tasks and spider tasks, and so tutorial skipping and plus getting the wilderness
You
tasks.
get pretty fast for those tasks. And what do
Oh
you
yeah,
do
you
when you
get.
get one? Do you find a team or do you just pot the solo?
So I've been skipping them right now, but I'm trying to think of a method. To be able to boost myself with it. I haven't been able to find for Callisto or Venatus. I haven't been able to find like a super consistent boost method. So I got to figure something out. But that'll be my end goal is to.
Your trio Callisto with an alt that was barraging was really good.
Yeah, it's chill. I'm just super worried about that drop rate. Like 1 in 300 split, like sharing it 3 ways. It's like 1 in 1,000.
Yeah, but you were getting like 60 kills an hour.
True, it was fast, but
And it was really like it was very consistent. Like I've been doing some in the CC, like 5, 6 mans, and they were sometimes slower than what we were doing because we all had thralls too, which is huge.
oh yeah. And then ZCB is huge too. Like hitting those 110s, like
Yeah,
especially on a boss with like 800 hit points, like an extra 10 damage is really huge.
I don't know. I've been trying like for Venenatis and Callisto. I've been trying to like go into 2K and 2.2K worlds and crashing people that are doing it.
Is
Some
that successful?
Not really, but I don't know what else to do if I get the task because I get the task and I don't want to like just skip it. I want to at least try it and do a bit of kills.
I've been seeing this one guy and the people that do like the 20-minute CMs, they would have alts that would be in like a rag Vinny setup, and they would just have like snake skin with RCB, and like they would just not anti PK but basically suicide, to where they would just bolt rag people and then just eat and then just like ruin just like ruin their day attacking them until they hopped. Um
Really, to like secure the world.
Either to secure a world, or if people come to PK them, just ragging them so that
That
they
probably
don't.
would work.
Yeah, so that like how we had like a scout alt where we'd have like a CCTV up there watching people.
Yeah,
We like imagine doing that, but having like a 50K setup, to where if you died, you couldn't care less. So I guess that would be one way to try to push people out.
because that's the thing. The PKers lose you so much time. I've been doing anti PKing too. It's really fun. Like it's actually hilarious. Like we bring
Yeah,
rag gear and AGS, and whenever a PK shows up, we skull up on them.
yeah, it's definitely fun, but it's such a time loss.
Oh
Like
yeah, it's
that.
not worth the kills. Like you lose your kills per hours go to shit because you have to unskull and if you get PK'd, it's even slower. But I don't. It makes it more fun because we get kills quite often.
Oh yeah, like I think I was at a Calvarion the other day, and I bludgeon whacked someone to death, and they just died to the Calvarion nukes, and it's quite funny. I don't even have the loot keys enabled because I don't have gold to spend because I spent them all in damn chaos runes. Um, and so his loot just disappeared from the floor. It's like 300K.
You should enable loot keys because then you can suicide on the alt to pick it up. But I mean, you
Yeah,
don't need GP anyway, so you don't give a shit.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't need the GP on the main, but I need the GP on the iron. So until I get my GP in order, maybe after TOA, I'm gonna keep those disabled for a little bit.
All right, next topic here is raids 4. When do you expect it? But you kind of covered it at the start of the podcast. You talked about like every 2 to 3 years would be
Yeah,
a great middle point.
end of next year is what I would peg it at. But who knows? I really hope it's not 5 years. Like I think RuneScape will 100% survive another 5 years. I think I'll probably be playing in another 5 years, depending on like account security or whatever. Um, but I want to have fun, and I'm not going to have fun if it doesn't come out for 5 years. I don't know what I'll be doing in 5 years. Um, So hopefully it's 2 years. I think that's the mindset that they have going forward, and so I'm not terribly worried. But it's a lot of work to put a raid together, and it definitely changes the game. And I think it's really important to change the game incrementally, and a raid every 2 years might change the game a little bit too quickly. So we'll see.
It would be cool too if we have like our 2K capes on all the raids, and then raids 4 comes out and we like full send the 2K cape.
Yep,
That would be really
that's what I
cool.
think. Yep, 100%. Um, but I'm kind of concerned also, like what would it replace? Because we have like the three main weapons, right? What would come with it?
Yeah, because you don't have to replace one of those three weapons. Hmm.
Do you? I was thinking, what if? Have you ever played Path of Exile before?
No, but a lot of my friends do, like Pharaoh and
I haven't played it a lot. I've played it like a weekend with my brother, and so I got through the campaign. Um, I didn't really get into like the end game of it. I got into like the first. Like, I think speedrunners do it in like 2 hours, but for me it took a weekend, right? Because I didn't know anything. Um, but there was this one part to where like you could align yourself with a god, and it would give you bonuses. So what if it was something like that? Like um, what if Raids 4 came out and you could align yourself with Saren and you would get magic damage bonus? Or you could align yourself with Bandos and you would get melee damage bonus, or Armadillo and get range damage bonus, or whatever.
can you change
Um,
it or would it be forever locked?
yeah, you. So I kind of debated that in my mind, like just thinking about it, and 100% you should change it. But how should you change it, right? Do you have to, do one kill count? Like, what if it was like chambers? You know how you have like rotations for chambers?
So you did one rotation, and once you kill the boss, you get that buff.
That god, yeah.
And then
So like,
and
what
then
if
imagine if like the buffs that you get is not representative to the raid itself. Like for example, if you kill the bandos, imagine you get through the raid for the bandos buff. Well, that raid requires range focus, so you'd have to cycle
or
through
me?
the bosses.
And so
That would be
yeah,
so
like
cool, dude. Holy shit!
so that'd be really cool. So you would do Saren for the mage, go to Bandos for the mage buff during the Bandos
Because mage is
raid,
strong against melee.
get the
Yeah.
melee, go to the Armadillo one, so you can do Armadillo with the buff and then go back to Saren and repeat. And then what if there was like another skilling side to it, to where you had like Guthix, and Guthix was gathering, and then you had whatever god is artisan, and then whatever god is um, whatever the fuck other skill type.
We're not skillers. We don't give a shit about that, dude. That's not for
Yeah, and
us to
then
deal with.
and then yeah, and so what if and this is like a best of both worlds type thing? What if you would do the gathering one, and then you would what if the boss, like the idea of the boss was you would hunt chins for the adventurers, right? And then the adventurers would use the chins to defeat the boss or whatever. What if you had to smith, primordial, or if you remember dungeoneering back in the day, you had to smith primordial armor, right? Or you had to go, build fucking I don't want to say tanks, but like the RuneScape equivalent of tanks to defeat the boss or whatever. That could be like, obviously I'm not a skiller, so I might have like super shitty skiller ideas, but that's like on the skilling side, how you can rotate through the buffs for like having a deity that your character is aligned with at that moment.
But how
But
would
I could
you like? How would you be a 4-man raid and each person does one room, and
um
then the skiller feeds them resources on all four, three? Like, would that be how it would
so
work?
no, so they would be separate. So I'm imagining like the adventurers, they would be like NPCs, right? Like
Also, you'd feed them. Okay, so you do whatever raid you want like independently of each other.
Yeah, yeah, like you wouldn't like a PvM squad wouldn't require a skiller squad. Because I think PvM would have like everyone trying for PvM, and then no one would be on skiller, right? Except
Yeah,
for like
except like a few of the.
except for bots.
They'd sell
But
skilling services.
yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't want them to be tied, but I could imagine like having two separate, having six raids, let's say like six rotations. Um, three of them are PvM, three of them are skiller. Um, and I would enjoy something like that, to where it gives you a buff to it. But I could also imagine like, what if I go to Chambers and I get the ranged buff, and then someone calls me up for Top?
Then you do
I
one
don't.
raid to get the melee buff. So
Yeah,
you'd be
I don't want
always
to.
locked doing that raid.
Yeah, you. So it would be good in terms of you would have to repeat the content and like content repeatability, but it would be super annoying to want to go to Top but can't because you have to go do a 20-minute Bandos raid.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure. Maybe it would be a thing of like, um, maybe it's like a 10% bonus that you can change at will. But if you want that bonus within the raid, um, you have to complete that raid layout and you get a 20% bonus only within the raid though. But I
But out of
also
the
know
raid,
that
you can switch whenever. Assuming you
that you
have a
can,
completion of it, you can switch whenever you want.
yeah, so it's like a 20% in the raid, but you have to complete, whatever raid it is that gives you the bonus. But outside of the raid, it's like a 5 or 10% that you can switch at all times.
That'd be pretty cool.
So
Because then it stays irrelevant in the raid to hop between them.
yeah, for if you're farming the raid for money or whatever. And it would be also super cool because I think it would also give people more role based stuff because nowadays there is no roles. Like at Tob is the only place you have a mage role or a ranger role. So I could imagine like if you go to CMs, someone would be like, I'm Venge Melee Bang.
Oh
And then
yeah, because you guys would have buffs, different buffs.
yeah, and then some like whoever the Surger is would be like, yeah, I'm Surge,
I'm mage roll.
ma- Mage Deity. And then someone would be like, I'm Ranger, so I'll go ZCB Range Deity, for example. And then someone's like, oh, I'm also the Mage Deity, so I'm gonna bring a Karasi, so I
And one
can
person takes a skiller relic and preps.
yeah, skill it, yeah, 100%. If you could pick one and a half, like at 1.5 speed, that would be, and you could prep at 1.5 speed, making pots, and you give up your 5 to 10% damage bonus.
It's probably worth it because you save so much
100%,
time.
100%, yeah.
And you'd prep for
And
everyone too. You'd make all the potions.
yeah, and so I feel like having a raid like that doesn't replace the current Bis, um, because as soon as you replace Scythe or replace Tivo or replace Shadow, I feel like those raids suffer a lot.
Yeah,
Um,
significantly.
and so I think that approach and that methodology keeps all the previous raids in a really good position, and it creates a more role-based gameplay, which I really enjoy, and it increases the repeatability by like fuck tons.
It's a really good idea. Is that a thing in Path of Exile? That concept?
I don't know if that's how the mechanic worked, but I remember like playing the game and I'd see like there's like multiple gods you can devote yourself to, and I was like, damn, I wish RuneScape had something like this.
It's really cool. It's a really clever concept too. I
Yeah,
doubt
but
any J mods would be listening to this, but hey, if they are, they can copy your idea if they want to. Do you give them
yeah, like
permission?
at like the 2 hour in mark. But but then again, that also begs the question, what about raids 5? What does raids 5 do?
Yeah,
Um
we'll get to that when we get raids 4.
yeah, who the hell knows, right? Like you have all your combat styles, you have an overall buff to those combat styles. What do you buff the overall buff? Like, at what point do you replace old raid this? I don't know. I don't think raids 4 is the place for it, but we'll see. Also, at the point of raids 4, let's say it comes out in 2 years, Chambers will have been in the game for 10 years. For 10 years, Tebow would have been bis at a lot of places. Even nerfed, it is still bis at a lot of places. So maybe it is time to replace it. I wouldn't want to see that happen. I think it's an iconic item that should stay bis pretty much for the lifespan of RuneScape, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm open to replacing it, or building upon it even. Um, but God knows. But that's what I would want raids 4 to be.
Yeah, I didn't consider the fact that we already have the trifecta of mega rare weapons, so you'd have to
Yeah,
replace something. And all the
or
armors we already have, like Torva, Missouri, and Ancestral.
yeah. So who knows? But
I can
that'd be
maybe
my
do
vote.
like like the blessing slot. Maybe have something good there,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, maybe like the deity slot would go there or something, but
or pegs like the boots slots. They can maybe upgrade that.
who knows? I kind of wish pegs gave strength bonus or something that or add an attachment to it, but it's
Yeah, exactly. Or
unfortunate.
like the same thing with Eternals, like give like a 1% damage
Yeah,
buff or
because it's what I wish they did with the Eternals is I wish that they reallocated the occult damage. It's like 10% from an occult. Like, come on, dude.
that's
That,
huge. Yeah, it's
that's a
disgusting.
that's super OP. Like spread the love. I think full ancestral 6%.
Maybe
So
make like the occult 8% and then the Eternals 2%. Just like something small like that.
I would have scaled it back more if I could redesign it. I would do like occult 4% and then put 2% on all ancestral, or even make it like occult 3%, put 2% on all ancestral and 1% on the boots. So occult's way overpowered
Yeah, because
for
Ancestral feels kind of not as good as it should be.
not compared to occult. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, the occult's a little bit too overpowered. But I mean, it's also been in the game for like 10 years. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I don't think they understood the scale of 10% damage when they implemented it with
Yep.
Thermi.
What about this idea? So, have you seen the Tuskow trials be tweeted like last game jam? I think it was about a year
That's like
ago.
the Inferno like based
Yeah.
like
So
waves.
yeah. So they pitched like a best in slot. I think it was a best in slot mage cape.
Yeah, I think so too.
Um, but obviously with Shadow, adding a 2%
Yeah, that's like
mage cape.
7 max hits.
Yeah,
Disgusting.
it's not a 2% max cape, right? It is a 6% max cape, 8% in TOA. And so whenever they first like were teasing that the Shadow, I was like, man, this is real dangerous because future mage upgrades are
Yeah,
going
they're
to
gonna
be
scale
compared
like
against the Shadow.
crazy.
Um, and so I'd be okay with like if that new mage cape came out, lowering the occult and adding it onto that mage cape. Like if we had a 4% mage cape and then just lowered occult for 2% and having no bonus from right now, but just reallocating it, I'd be okay with that. But
But
I
then
can
that would
just
feel
hear,
kind of sad because then you'd be grinding for
yeah,
that item for no to be like equivalent to what you were before.
yeah. So I definitely see that viewpoint. I just hate the occult,
And also,
how
dude,
it's
people
standing.
get so mad when there's nerfs. Like, look at the blowpipe nerf.
Oh
People
yeah,
were complaining for. They still are, dude. They had to nerf
yep,
Inferno monsters to make people not complain, even though the blowpipe nerf wasn't that big for Inferno.
yeah. Like that. Blowpipe was OP. It needed nerfing. Um, and they got to pull the band-aid off eventually, right? So,
Yeah, they agreed with the nerf. I find it funny how people were complaining so hard about it. It was wild. So I
but
can
now we got,
imagine if they reallocated mage and nerfed the occult, people would
oh yeah,
complain.
people. I'm not vouching it's a good idea, but if they pitched the idea, I'd vote yes to it because I hate the occult.
And it's funny too how the
Um,
occult is so dirt cheap. It's like 300k or something.
yeah, because it's so easy to get, so
But
accessible.
you get it from the small thermies, dude. That's so stupid. Like,
Yeah, I was like combat level like 100 when I got my first occult, and then I was like, 124 when I got my first ancestral piece, and the occult's 5 times better.
yeah, 5 times better. Imagine. Damn.
But you know, the yeah, they nerfed pipe, but they gave us Bofa, which is arguably the a bigger buff, at
Yeah.
least to like gameplay.
And
Like
Missouri made blowpipe equivalent to what it was before.
yeah, because like what's it called? Like Bofa with is like Bofa is probably stronger than pre-nerf blowpipe in terms of like what you can do, right?
Yeah.
Like you can do an Inferno easily with a Bofa. With just a blowpipe, it's actually kind of hard, because you had to use ACB, right, for
For
Zuck.
Zuck,
Like
yeah.
that's not the easiest thing to do, but like with Bofa, easy peasy, kill anything, and it's so accessible too. Like coming from Corrupted Gauntlet, that's such like a mid-level iron grind. That's just sets your account up for pretty much everything in the game.
Yeah, it's a must have now for irons.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't even have one, dude.
yeah. I got to get it now. That's why I'm thieving these crystal shards so I can corrupt mine.
All right, I think that's all our general topics done. By the way,
Yeah.
holy.
Yeah, I've been talking for. I hope I didn't dominate the conversation too much. I felt like
Well, it's
I
okay. I mean,
talked
you're the
way too
guest, so
much.
it's fine. And two-man podcasts are way more like I don't know. I find them more chill than like 4 or 5 mans.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people to pass the mic to, right? So I feel like I was talking for like maybe 3/4 the time, but um, I hope I didn't like bore people or uh dominate the conversation too much.
Dude, apparently someone commented on my video that I PK'd and no way,
That
dude. I gotta go see. Did he
that
flame me?
like in the wilderness.
Yeah, because I finished my last video with like a PKing.
Oh, and
Oh,
they were the
bro, I'm
victim.
luckily I didn't protect my Avernic. Honestly, we had such a good time. Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, that this was like what a 2 hour conversation. How long
It's
have
two
we
and
been
a
doing
half
this
hours
call?
right now.
2.5. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
gotten 688 crystal shards. That's pretty good.
I've gone. I have 45 easies, but I think I started with 6. So I'm at 39 easies.
Wait. Okay, you're stacking them.
Yeah, I
Okay.
stack them. I'm stacking them until I get 50 brimstone keys and I open them.
Okay. 50 brimstone keys. That's a weird measurement. I never would have expected
Okay, it's because like before I used to open everything as I got them. Like I would get a Cusco boom, I would open it, and
yeah.
it was fine and all, but I realized that it was kind of boring in terms of like the video because you'd be seeing me doing Toa, 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 and then bam, I get elite clue unique. You're like, what the hell? That
Yeah.
like there's no there's no consistency. So I stack
Yeah.
for like specific milestones, and it's actually because of crayons. Crayons told me to do that, so I started doing that, and it's really really nice. It's also
I
really
bet,
fun to stack and then you open them all together. It's really satisfying.
I bet it's a lot better in terms of like video quality when you have 5 minutes of one piece of content and then you move on to the next piece of content. You're not
Yeah.
like cutting in and out super quick.
But I've been getting flamed for my Toa videos because you know I did like 2 months of Toa nonstop, like
Hmm.
100 a week. So it's a little excessive, but it is what it is.
Were people like too much Toa? Give us easy clues.
No, I don't do clues. That's why I'm kind of surprised I did 45 easies. But yeah, it's
What's
nice
the
to have variety, and I think I learned that.
are you missing a lot of collection logs for clues?
Yeah, I'm not gonna open my clock because I don't want to spoil, but I'm missing quite a lot for easies and mediums.
Yeah, clue scrolls is what puts me off of collection log because I don't enjoy them. I would do them for rangers or bis, but generally speaking, I don't enjoy clues. And you cannot compete
Yeah, you
with
have to do
collection
them.
loggers
You
without
can do
clues.
them passively though. Like I've been doing my clues mostly passively, and I'm still quite up there.
Yeah, but like for like to compete with like Master Barter or Deer or that Rusty guy, you
Yeah,
got
you
you
need to grind them. You have to full send.
and then what's that? Let me look at that. What's that guy? Hey Jace. Let me look at that guy.
Oh yeah,
Have you
but dude,
seen
his clues are cracked.
have you seen this guy?
Yeah, he's like 30,000 hearts.
What is he? What rank is he?
But him, he has so many third age items that his rank is irrelevant. He's like top 2, I think, for Clog because of all the clues he's done.
Yeah, it's like him and Marnie because Marnie
Yeah,
has like
Marnie's
eight.
got a lot of. Marnie's got some rare third age. He's got like I think he's
Yeah,
got like the bow, the
he has like bow, top,
he has druidic
bottom,
bottoms.
Gabe.
Yeah, he has a lot of the rare ones, which is
Yeah,
sick.
but yeah, this dude 3,700 masters, impressive but not insane. 30K hards, uh, 20K mediums, 9,000 easies. Like I couldn't do that. I could not compete with that. Like
But that's
I
he's
don't.
a normie though. Remember, like you have to
True.
compare
Yeah.
yourself to like Barter and the others.
Let me
But
look at
honestly,
Barter
like
real quick.
I was surprised how top page clog isn't even that hard to get to. Like if you compare it to other things, like imagine you wanted to go for top page overall Ironman XP, like you'd have to grind for like 2 years to compete.
Yeah, I'm at 581, and like I haven't done any mini games.
Because if you full send clog mindset, which you already kind of are, you're just going for like the longer ones first, as opposed to
Yeah,
grinding the easy ones. Like if you went on an easy clog grind mindset, you can get to 1,000 within like 3 months.
really?
Yeah, you just do Castle Wars, Shell Brewing, a bit of the clues, and most of the mini games, and you can bump that numbers fast. So you can go so quick to 1,000, and then once you're at 1,000, it's like a brick wall, dude. Every slot you get is like a fucking wall you have to climb, and it gets harder and harder as you go. And once you get to 1,100, it's like every log slot is like 30 hours.
Yeah, I think it was that Master Barter guy talking about how it's like months between collection logs sometimes.
Yeah, it gets cracked. But that's what's fun.
Uh,
It's like the grind just, and also what's cool is you can do clog with like a dude. I'm like literally trying to convert you to like the religion of collection log.
I'll work on it passively while I work on my main goals, but once I finish my main goals, I'll start focusing on it a little more. But in my mindset, I do want to go for all pets one day. But until that day, I will never go for all pets until I get a bloodhound.
Yeah, because you need to
'Cause-
get the bloodhound first. That one's the brutal one to grind.
Yeah, because if I'm case like imagine if I go like Casey dry
Yeah, you're fucked.
6500s masters, I will never do 6500 masters. Like I'm at like 150 masters, and I'm like, fuck, dude, when is this pet gonna get here? And I have like an 8% chance of getting it or something.
Yeah, what's the bloodhound pet is so rough on irons, dude. Like you have to
Oh
basically
yeah,
like farm Sarachnis. You have to kill like what 60,000 Sarachnis to drop rate for master.
it's ridiculous.
It's rough.
And the thing that sucks about that too is I don't have like Zammy full helm. I don't have flared trousers because
So
I don't
you
really do
drop a lot of
clues.
steps. Yeah, you have to grind those items. The easy clues, the flared trousers, the medium clues, the bando's cloak.
The Bando's cloak, Bando's chest plate, like there's just so much standing in the way between me and that bloodhound that I'm not going to go for pets until I get that bloodhound. That's why I'm going for like raid KC capes because
They
I
give
can obtain
clues.
that. Yeah. Well, it gets clue. I am doing the clues when I get them. I'm
Do you
trying to be
trade
a
for
good boy
master? Or
about
do
it.
you just do it? The
I trade
elite
for masters.
trade? I just do
Yeah.
the elites. They're more fun.
Um, I've done a couple of elites, but only when I don't have clues pre-stocked. But normally, whenever I do like a rating session, I'll pre-stock all my clues, and I don't get more than 3 elites.
That's
Um,
smart. So you just tell it to Matson and run back.
yeah, but speaking of elites, whenever you do TOA, here's a tip. Suppose so you don't check the chest at the end of the TOA room,
You check it
and
outside?
you check it outside every time, and you
Okay.
drop your elite when you check it. So if you have an elite in the bank,
Oh,
you
and if you
drop
get a
the
lead
elite.
in the chest, you leave it there.
You leave it there, and here's what you do: if you complete the elite that you just dropped, and then you loot the elite from the safe wall, the wall chest,
Yeah.
it's guaranteed to be a one stepper.
Bro, that worked for Tob and they fixed it. It works for Toa?
Oh, it worked. It did it for top.
Yeah, you used to be able to do that for Tob. You'd actually be
Yeah.
able to retrieve it, and you'd have
Yep.
two elites in your inventory.
Oh, you can't retrieve it. You can't retrieve it for TOA.
Because they
But
fixed it for that reason. But it works for. Dude, I'm gonna have to edit this out of the video, dude. This is the tech. We can't leak this.
yeah. So yeah, edit this part. But
No, if they people watch this far in the video, they deserve that tip, dude.
they deserve to know
Honestly,
the
like
tech.
they just don't leak it to Jagex, boys.
Yeah. I haven't done it because I don't do elites. But if I was a collection logger, I'd 100% be doing that. I'd
But that
like
means if you ever get an elite clue, you have to stop raiding right away.
yeah yeah. But then you do your 2 elites pretty much. But it's like the time it takes to do one elite, and then you have to collect 2 more elites, right? Like you get the one from a raid, and then you have to get another one
Damn,
from the
dude.
raid. Which
Holy, that's so cool.
so I'm sure you can convince the boys, hey, can we take like a 8 minute smoke
No,
break?
every time I was getting elite, that's what I was doing. I was like, I'm skipping one, boys. I just did the elite.
But yeah, that's how you can cheese the elites a little bit.
Alright, I'll definitely try that when I go back to Toa. I took a long break from Toa though, but I'll go back soon. I want to make a bit of money, and I'm close to the 1K cape as well.
Yeah, well, that's at least what one of my friends told me. I don't know if it still works, but he told me it like 3 months after TOA release, so like December-ish.
So it might still
So
work.
yeah, probably would. I don't see why many people would be testing it or reporting it if they figured it out.
All right, I got one last topic. If you got the time, I'm actually
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
leave
sure.
soon, due. So it's like pretty good timing. It's for the new spell book. What would you expect from the new spell book? Like what kind of spells?
Spellbook? I thought it was a prayer
The
book.
prayer. Sorry, why did I wait the spell book here? Yeah, it's a prayer book. You're right.
Yeah, so I think they said on one of their live streams that they were trying to make it like, how the spell books normals is like utility, lunars is support, and they compared it to the what's it called? The ancient one. So I'm imagining it's going to be a little bit more offensive based. And I hope it is offensive based. Um One thing that I think that we should take from RS3 and not do is I don't want Soul Split. I think that and I say that in like the viewpoint of I enjoy alting, and so I feel like Soul Split would heavily deter alting because you don't need resupplies alts as often. You don't need heal other alts. You don't need spec transfer alts as often.
Just soul split everything
Yeah, you just Soul Split everything and you survive everything and you never bank, you never leave. You get a resupply every once in a while.
for like divine
Um,
pots and stuff, and that's it.
Yeah, but you don't need heal other. You don't need tank alts because you can tank because you'll soul split it back. Um, you know, having these, very niche alts will no longer affect you, and I'm not like a real big fan of that, so I don't want soul split. Turmoil, I'd be okay with,
What
but
was
now that we
turmoil? I
have,
don't remember.
I don't remember the exact stats, and I'm not like vouching for the exact stats to be in here, but more than piety is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, it was stronger than piety. It was like an upgrade
Yeah,
to piety. Okay.
yeah, an upgrade to piety. I'd be okay with like maybe for raids 5 there could be an upgrade to rigor that's on the new prayer book. I'd be okay with that. um Maybe a magic damage bonus prayer. I'd be okay with that too. Because augury is just defense and accuracy. I think a cold one has like a meme to where like mystic might is just as good as augury, except augury costs more prayer points or something.
Yeah, I
um
mean, he's not wrong.
yeah, it's such a minuscule, buff that I would like turmoil, a little upgrade to rigor, and then a big upgrade to augury. Actually, I think it should include damage percent. Um, at the cost of overheads, like how like curses had the deflects. Um, so like overheads was like 100% protection, and then like the deflects was like 90% or whatever it was. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I'd be okay with that. Like if
So
like imagine,
you take more damage, but you do more damage. So it's like
yeah,
the sacrifice.
I'd be okay with it being like you can't bring it, or I guess you could, but it would be extremely difficult to bring it into Inferno, for example, because majors would hit like six
Oh,
through
they would
prayer.
slap you. You couldn't do it.
Yeah, like what if you're taking six through prayer, right? But you could four hit it most of the time.
If it's 90% reduction.
Yeah, if it was
Oh,
high, not 100%, but if it was high,
I thought you
um,
meant like 90, like 10% reduction. That's how I understood it.
no, like it'd have to be pretty high. Like 90%, I would imagine, maybe 80%.
So it would still be doable for Inferno to use that. It'll just be like very, very difficult. Like the skill ceiling would go up so much for speeds.
Yeah, yeah, like
Because
I don't
that's
know.
a
I'd
cool
like to,
concept. Like the idea for like the what was it, the blood armor, like the initial range armor pull, where the lower health you had, the more damage you were doing.
yeah, yeah,
That was just brutal. But this would be kind of cool because you just take more damage, so you
yeah.
could still be fine.
Yeah, like I would actually be kind of okay because they were saying how they were going to release 4 new bosses with Desert Treasure 2.
Yeah,
What if they added like augmentations or attachments to current bis and bis to come that enabled low life effect? They kept the exact same stats but enabled low life.
I don't know.
Um,
I'm not a huge fan of low life, to be honest.
I'm not either, because I don't like playing dangerously, Like I don't want to be sitting on 30 HP and tick eating all day. I think that's boring, right? Um,
Because
so
that's what it
I
would
don't.
be. You'd bring like a locator orb everywhere you go, kind of like in
Oh, yep,
leagues with the locator orb that people were
yep.
using. Like that's what it would
I
look
take
like.
I take my idea back. It's actually garbage now that I think about it.
It's like it's cool. It's a cool concept, and it would be really cool to see in speeds. Like imagine watching like Rasta set an Inferno speed with that. That would be so sick because he'd be sitting in low health the entire time, like
Yeah,
chancing himself for speeds.
we should do like a long-term merch and start merching Guthix restores. I think they're going to go through the
Guthix
roof.
restores.
Yeah, tickets, stackable tickets that aren't sweets. The ones that heal like 4 hit points. Oh, the Guthix tea.
Oh, the
Like the
Guthix
teas.
rest. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
the
Bro, I was
teas
so lost.
that are aids to make.
Yeah, they're horrible to make on irons, but they're so good for like speeds and all that.
Yeah, I think. Where do you use them at TOB? Is that it?
Well, people bring it for TOB for ticketing because you can ticket bloat without like losing ticks. But like most people, they bring a cake, most irons, and they use a cake to
Yeah,
ticket. You lose the ticks, but honestly, like the time it takes to make a Guthix rest, like it's not worth it unless you're doing like a duo speed for the CAs or something.
and you can ticket soak balls, and
Yeah, you can
I I
ticket
think
4 times.
I think I would make like 2,500 and just spend it one day making them, and then use them for the rest of the 2K cape.
If they're really worth bringing, you just bring like one per raid anyways, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
probably won't
exactly.
even use it. You can even keep it in the inventory after.
Yeah, you would use like 2 doses, maybe 3 doses, depending on if you get the soak
But
ball or
honestly, for
not.
2K top, I just brought like bombs, and I was ticketing with bombs, and it was fine. You don't use that
Yeah,
much food. It was pretty
I'll have
chill.
to check because it does give run energy too. Because some of those tops where like three of your four teammates die and you're soloing, I've ran out of stamina before since
Yeah,
Torva is so
yeah,
heavy.
that's true. And
Um,
I mean, I don't think you bring Missouri. You'd probably
no,
maybe.
I just bring Void. But yeah, if you could have that like extra 20 run, that'd be pretty pog. So when your teammates die, you can actually finish the kill. You're not walking. But
Nice. I guess
we'll get to
we'll.
it when we get to top.
Oh yeah, but you won't have me for Tob, unfortunately. I'm a
Oh
retired
no,
Tobber.
I'm sure there'll be we do raids people running. I'm not really worried about it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Fours Tob
Everyone's
is
running Tob
it's
all the time. Tob's great.
yeah, it's so quick too. It's like a 3 month grind maybe. It's not bad. Not worried about it.
Or 2 years if you're like me. Do like a couple a day.
Yeah, I'd probably set a schedule like I did for TOA, do like maybe like 15 a day, then on weekends try to do like 30 or something.
Jesus, dude.
Get it done in 2 months.
I was doing a when I was going for the 2K cape, I was like 150 away, and then I like at work I had like 5 days of vacation I had to use, and if I didn't use it, I lost it. So I took a week off randomly and like out of nowhere, like last minute, and I was doing 20 tobs a day for a full week and finished the 2K cape.
Jeez.
It was actually a lot of fun. Like one day I did 24 hard modes in a day. Shit was cracked,
24
dude.
hard mode?
Yeah, 24 hard modes in a day.
Dude, it's
Like I
nuts.
remember I woke up at 6 a.m. and I was potting with like some of the like I think it was like the
EU
US
people?
West gamers that were playing late. And then they all went to
Oh.
bed, and then I started potting with the UK gamers. And then some of them went to bed, and then some of the US East gamers were getting on. So I literally potted hard mode top with the entire like time zone. Dude. It was so fun. Like
That's
I was doing
cool.
4 or 5, and then the team would die. Then I'll join another We Do Raids team and just keep going.
Yeah, I consider like more than three hard mode tobs in a day a good day. So I just got to get that sanguine kit, and then I can dip on out of there and go back to normals.
It was a lot of fun. Hard mode top was a lot of fun. 5-man hard mode tops, dude. Best content in the game.
I do enjoy 5 mans, especially with a really good team.
With a good team, it's insane.
They're
We were
just so
getting
smooth.
consistently GM time every raid. It was crazy because GM
Yeah,
time
yeah,
isn't hard to make in hard modes, so you can make it consistently with a good team.
yeah. You might have to start back up some hard mode tops and invite me so I can leech.
Dude, we were doing like I remember we did a 5-man, like we did like 4 5-mans in a row, all GM time. Then one guy took a break. We did a 4-man. We made GM time with 70 or with 85 seconds to spare. Dude, it was
Like GM
disgusting.
fours or GM
GM
fives.
fours with 85 seconds to spare.
It's nuts.
It was crazy. It was so clean. Man, those were really fun.
Yeah, I gotta find those teams. It's a hit or miss. I've tried some top hard mode teams from Weeder Raids, and it's hit or miss
Yeah,
50-50.
it's hit
Either
or
it's
miss.
really good and you get like two people that like hard carry and they bring in like locator orbs to keep the green ball and shit. Um, or you get like absolute, like clueless people that die to every room. It just becomes like a chore.
Well, my tip is we do raids. If someone's good, you add them to your friends list. If you ever wipe, you TYFR, take a 10-minute break, find another team.
Yeah, I got to do something because
That's how I did it. That was my mentality for hard mode top, and it worked out really well. So it was good.
yeah, my mentality right now is I got like 5 or 6 people in the clan I'm in that do hard mode top. So like pretty much they all have to be on for hard mode top to start happening. And whenever they start forming, I try to latch on there, and if I'm not doing anything, and send like 3 or 4 with them and call it a day. But it's like once a week maybe I'll catch them all on at the same time. So it's not like super consistent, but
And
it's
would you
better than not.
stop doing a hard mode top once you get the all the kits? Or are you gonna keep going for kill count?
Once I get the sanguine kit and another holy kit,
You're out.
yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
doing
kept going
anymore.
for kill count. It was fun for 2KK.
Yeah, if I had like a super consistent team, or like there was a Discord that were doing like super consistent runs and like you had to trial to get in there, maybe I'd consider it just for the flex, like maybe get like 1,000 flat. But considering that the chances of wiping are so high and it's a little bit longer of a raid, I'd just rather do normals, especially since that would be my what's it called? That would be my last
Your
raid for the
final
2K cave.
2KK. Yeah, regular
Yeah.
fives are just way easier to find good teams and less
Oh yeah.
skill required. And also, what's interesting is that like Harmel Top, the purple rate is better, but you die more often, so it's not actually better. So you make more
Yeah,
money from
exactly.
regular top, unless you have like a optimal perfect team, which I would doubt, because
Oh yeah.
Harmel Top is very hard.
Yeah, and no one is like perfect at hard
No,
mode
you
top.
make so many mistakes there. It's very difficult,
And
and
it's
it's
super
so
like,
punishing.
oh yeah, definitely. Like even like the best of the best make one mistake and you instantly die. But my cat is begging for food now, so
Yeah, we have to end here. I have to go eat too.
yeah, I gotta go feed the cat. I gotta go, get some food and eat myself. But thanks so much for inviting me. I really appreciate this opportunity and getting to talk about my perspective on stuff. And I hope that my end goal is hopefully someone listening will you know hear the stuff we talk about and either help them out or help a buddy out or you know
And also, if you're watching this and you have like a similar mindset to us, where you want to get the 2K raids cape, make sure you reach out. Like join our
yeah
CC or PM Salii, I guess.
my friends are offline, so just look me up and we do raids. Hit me up because you definitely need teammates. I mean, that's the brick wall for content this long.
Yeah, I also really want to try forming 5-man iron only CMs and see how good
That'd be
those
cool.
are.
Yeah. So if anyone has lasted this long and you want to do 5-man Iron CMs, let's give it a go.
Let's try it out. If we get sub 35 minutes, I'm down to full send it.
Yeah. Or if we get like sub 28 minutes,
We
imagine.
could be able to. I did a sub 30 5-man CM in the CC with like average like casual gamers, and it was really nice.
Yeah. So we'll see.
All right. Well, good
All right.
chat. Thanks for coming, Sally, and
Yeah.
we'll
Thank you.
probably raid more in the future.
Yep. Yep. Tomorrow you're gonna be online.
Yeah, we can pot
Yep.
tomorrow, do some
Yep.
trios,
Perfect.
and yeah. Besides that, I'll put your YouTube in the description. I know you have a YouTube. Do you want me to
I
put
don't. I
your
don't use
Twitch?
it. Nah. Nah. I don't stream or make content really. I might make it for reference, but it's not enough to publicize.
All right, I'll put your Twitter then. Is that good? They can upvote
On
your comments on proposing changes.
since Musk overtook Twitter, I don't really use it much anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh
I
well.
log in every once in a while to like read Lucid's tweets or to stalk Mod Ash, but I don't tweet really. I think the last time I tweeted was probably like 4 years ago, maybe.
I don't use it
Um,
either, so it's fine. I only reuse it to look at like Jagex updates when they do updates and
exactly. Yeah,
shit.
I like lurk on Twitter. That's about it.
All
But
right, no worries. So, thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.
yep, thank you.